Hello and welcome back to ESA Cup Season X. This is our 10th installment of ESA Cup, round number 2 of the Swiss bracket. I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Nash. How's it going?
It's going well, fella. I'm very excited to be back on the ESA cast, and I honestly can't lie. It's definitely a good one to come back to. Entropy versus LDL.
Yeah, indeed. And I think, after watching the first round of ESA, LDL and Entropy have displayed some really, really good overtime games. But let's take a little look at the bracket overall. As we can see, we have got the Entropy and LDL today, which will be the decider of who goes in that middle bracket or who goes up the top. And we have also got, I believe, let's see who we got. It is Ghost Army, SFAM, and Sync have all got 2 wins. And then it will be Molotov, No Offense, and Nexus, who have got 1 win, 1 loss each. And we're still waiting on a few more results to come in for the lower bracket as well.
Yeah, so the losing team in this situation isn't exactly going to be in dire straits, so nothing to truly worry about. But it is still an important game for the winner because then they are in a position to qualify after their next one.
Definitely. And to be honest, it's going to be an interesting one because we do see an aggressive LDL player, a very aggressive team that wants to take on this very strategic Entropy. Entropy are infamous for good attacks, but depending on what map it is, they can really, really dominate on their defense. But LDL are really, they're very much a tactical based swing or be swung team, really. They know what they're doing, but they're very aggressive. And that's what I like to see from these two teams. So I'm hoping we go all the way on all the maps tonight.
Oh yeah, 100%. We do have a couple more things to look over, so if you want to move on to those, I'm very, very interested in how this is going to go.
So we do have the map bans, and it will be Entropy, of course, to ban Consulate first. No surprise there. LDL to ban Clubhouse out as well. And we'll see the border ban come in from Entropy as well. But it is here at Chalet. LDL will ban Chalet, and it's Entropy that, in round 1, they really shown us how to play Chalet. In fact, they made a little bit of a domination. They won 7-0 on Chalet against a Vertifly, who forfeit at 5-0. So it's definitely a show of strength for that map. Bank, though, it's going to be interesting to see because, well, LDL can win Bank. They got a 4-2 split on it against E-Wave. Although E-Wave aren't in their prime, they're still a strong side. There's, again, it's interesting to see, again, as well, our final couple of maps as well, Nighthaven Labs. Now, again, this is another map that LDL and Entropy could possibly be really strong on. Looking at it, I believe Entropy played. Let's see who played it. It was Entropy. Entropy played it. They lost to Vertifly 8-7 in overtime, max OT. So we could see an OT game here.
I think something to consider as well is like Bank, Cafe, Nighthaven are 3 maps that are like infinitely bigger than a lot of the other maps in the pool. Think of Border, think of Clubhouse to an extent. But like these maps tend to sort of be generally quite compact, whereas all 3 of these maps have a lot of room to move. And I think that, like, especially when it comes down to Bank and Nighthaven, they're very information heavy, very how good are you as a team in order to, break up these roamers, break up this hold. And I think that's something that's going to really shape the way the teams are actually going to perform in this game. So I think it's a good thing to look out for to see if we see things brought along like Zero, the Dekebi, even some shields on the attack. So it's like things that are going to be bringing along that information, that sort of like high pressure, high intensity gameplay that you don't usually get from things like, as I say, Chalet, Border, and even like, Skyscraper to an extent. So it's like, I think that's where like things are really going to shine on that attacking side.
I mean, talking about bans, we saw on Bank, actually LDL like to get rid of the Blackbeard, and they like to stick that Cade ban as well, which is very interesting to say. That Blackbeard is really, really good at being quite I don't know, just an obstacle in the way. So teams don't really want to deal with that. But I will say LDL are going to be interesting if they. I mean, do we know who's attacking first yet? That's the question. Um,
By the looks of our little secret video feed, it's going to be LDL on the attack first.
Okay, so again, this could be strong for them. They started up against E-Wave dominant. They got round one, then they got two consistent rounds on round 3 and 4, and then they finished out the round 6 with another win as well. So it went to a 4-2 split. I think they're going to be very good at individual play. We have seen prior times that they can win 3v1 gunfights. They can win things. And so if they are left in a bad situation, it's not the end for LDL. And that's what I like about them. They're a very good tactical team, but they also have individual players who can end up dragging out a result for them, which is what we could see in map 1 as well on Bank, one of their stronger maps by the looks of it.
Yeah, definitely so. And I think like a good indicator for Bank is a really good indicator as to how like Nighthaven or something like that would play. Because as I say, like these are two maps that are played very, very similarly. And I think like with the way they're played, we could see a bit of a similar sort of scoreline coming into those two maps in particular if we need the Nighthaven decider.
And I mean, looking at best and worst maps, according to the data that we have, OPL, it will be Chalet being LDL's worst map. I don't put it past them. And Border being one of their better ones, as well as Entropy Bank being one of their best. So this could be an interesting bank. I'm looking forward to map 1.
I
Definitely.
wanna I wanna quickly like input about LDL. This something for people that like to read into things a little too deep. That screams that LDL aren't really like a tactical sort of well structured team. They like their solo plays. They like to play around like sort of individual aggression, and I think that is something that could be either their maker or their like primary antagonist in this sort of game. Because as we can see from Border being a favored map, Chalet being an unfavored map, with Border being such a sort of high intensity, like aggressive map, and Chalet being such a tactical, slow map in sort of tradition, we kind of can bring that information forward. And when it comes down to the side of Entropy, you see a lot more of like a tactical pull. So I think that is something that could come head to head in full force in this matchup.
I can't wait. But something I really want to know is map 1, what is your prediction?
It's really hard to say. With Bank being one of those maps that relies heavily on information, you can still have a lot of aggressive plays made because of it being one of those maps that, as I said, is like quite infinitely bigger. So I think there's high potential for like aggressive plays, some window positions, maybe even some rush plans on the top floor, or even some very, very aggressive garage plays on the bottom. So I think very potentially we could see the mid floor sides go very well the way of Entropy and have the top floor and bottom floor be something that is a little bit more on the ropes. I want to say prediction wise, I'm going to go with based on the sort of playstyle difference, the clash, the way I think it's all going to sort of mesh together. I think LDL is probably going to try and squeak out a win here. I think it goes overtime, maybe like 8-6.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I was also going to say about an overtime game. I think Entropy, I think they are the better team personally when it comes to attacking phases as well. I'm going to put my money on Entropy. They're one of my personal favorites for the competition. So I'm going to say an 8-7 win to Entropy for map 1.
I think that's also a
Um,
good stat. Like in the last few games they've played against each other, specifically in other leagues, like LDL has come out with the win majority of the time. So that is something to consider as well. I just think on these bigger maps, we're going to be seeing a lot more of that aggression come into play,
yeah.
which will probably favor into LDL's hands.
Um, so let's just quickly skip to the end then. Do you think it will be a 2 map or 3 map game?
Three map.
3 map. Okay. So I'll probably say then I'm gonna say 2-1 LDL overall. I
Ah.
think Entropy will get one of the maps. I think they should do well on Bank. I think map 2 and 3, when it comes to Cafe and Not Haven Labs, I think LDL will outplay Entropy in gunfights. Specifically, Not Haven Labs, massive gunfighting map as well as a tactical map. So There's a lot of breaches that you can open straight into sight, and then it's just pick, pick, pick. And we can see that so quickly. When it comes to later on executions onto site, we know that it's really easy to just take people off the board, especially when the team's already, once they finish droning and stuff like that as well. So, but yeah, I can't wait to get into this game. And there's a lot of players that I believe we've had a few. I think we've had a few roster changes for LDL. I believe they had one sub, I believe. So we see how that will change the dynamic amongst their team. Shouldn't do it too much, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I think I do agree with your 2-1 call, but I do think it's going to be one of those games where we trade map picks. I think very potentially that the game that, or the map that Entropy is going to be best on will probably be that cafe because it's the most tactical in this pool of maps. But here we are in the match, ready for this ban phase. And what do you think we're going to see here? Oh, no ban phase. Ah, never mind.
Oh,
Advantage to
okay.
Entropy.
Cool. So the ban phase will be skipped ahead then. That's fine. And I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Entropy going to win the first round then by default. I guess LDL were a bit late there.
Bro, that
but it's all
Falcons
good.
card background's cool. I like that a lot. Sorry.
You always like it. You always like it.
Look, man, my roster was picked up by them. I need to root for Brede again.
Right, let's move to the bottom floor. We do have a Tachanka on the board, which could be interesting because it's also paired up with the smoke, as well as we do have the standard mirror strat where you, of course, do push back the mirror onto the second default soft wall.
Just to quickly emphasize for the stream as well, I just wanted to put this forward. The bans are, as far as I'm aware, Blackbeard, Cade, Deimos, Echo. So I'm not sure which sides those bans went to. I don't think they're in order because it's like attacker, defender. So I don't know. We have no idea. But those are the bans. That's something to consider. Something to very well keep in mind. I like the Blackbeard ban alongside the Cade. I think not banning Thatcher is a bit of a misplay because they've banned Cade and now there's going to be a lot of hack pressure, something that maybe they're not considering quite hard enough. And alongside that, the Echo ban is a little bit questionable for the defense. So I've just been informed Cade and Blackbeard were LDL bans.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, okay. That's going to be easy for them, though. They do have now, they can use the Brava for something else. They don't need to worry about anything else. They can get those default cams as much as they want. They've got the Dokkaebi calls as well, which will be good for them to try and flush people out as well. And those hatches are going to make so much noise when they're opened, when those Dokkaebi calls come off. And already we can start to see pings coming in. But it will be a pick early by Mad. And I can see, you know, an early pick coming in for the attack. That's going to be a little bit of a pressure point for Entropy now. They've lost a player in that middle floor section. And we're just looking to walk straight down into security here.
Indeed. Pressure being put onto this mirror here inside of Red Corridor. And now she's going to be a little bit unaware as to whether this Ashe is directly pushing her. You have got this smoke, a little bit caught here in the elevator, but he does know he's got his teammate nearby. Vigil sees the drone come down, isn't going to run too far away. Instead, just activates his gadget and plays there in silence. Mad, though, going to be coming in from behind.
And we do see the clock going down. The Toxic Babes will be deployed. Those pings coming off. So the question is, who's going to swing that door?
It's a little uncertain who's going to make the first move. The mirror's open inside of Red Corridor, and Mirror is playing a bit of a scary position behind that pillar. So it's very uncertain at the moment. They've managed to get the breach open, got themselves in a position where they can get the plant down if need be, but not enough pressure from the opposite sides. These hatches just now being open, 52 seconds left. They've got to be preparing for this execute, and there's really not enough time for them to dawdle.
Here we start to see now, how can they push onto this site? They've got 40 seconds. A lot of drops being held, but here we go. Starting to push down into that security. Got Goyo will be popped. The Goyo canister will be popped. And can they get any angles behind there to start the plant? They do have the Thermite who's waiting to rotate. Here he goes. He's got smoke, so he could possibly hold behind that. All those Goyos are getting popped. There we go. A smoke behind the mirror as well, so can't really play behind it too much. But it's Toxic Babes to come out. It will be another one. Oh my god, that C4's insane.
That it was, and well, the Vigil's still going to be on the upstairs trying to find the man on the hatch, but he's going to get himself caught, and the drop manages to find the other player. That is going to be a very, very assertive round for the side of the attack. Very good beginning for the side of LDL.
And going into round 3, and hey, they've managed to get back that round now that they needed. They were 1 round down. Yeah, their aggressive play style is so good, isn't it, for that attack? Look at how well they just cleared that site. As well as those roamers up early as well. A nice quick pick up top in that open area side. And yeah, very good. I can't wait to see. And again, LDL, we saw it in round 1. They're very good at picking up rounds on this bank as well. I think they generally love this bank map. And for it to be Entropy's top map as well, it could be an interesting clash of the two. But I think LDL actually might have the upper hand here in this attacking phase.
I mean, something that I found really, really interesting about LDL's attack is quite how coordinated it was. It looked a little scrappy and messy at the start because we kind of were focused on that sort of mad solo lurk, like having a look around, seeing what he can find. And that's exactly what it was. It was just a solo lurk. It wasn't like he was going off on his own to make some sort of hero play. He went on a lurk, he found his pick, he rejoined with his team, and during that entire debacle, we had 3 players pressuring from 3 different angles on the smoke that was inside of the elevator cubicle. They pushed back the Vigil, they pushed back the smoke, they got aggressive onto site, and that allowed them to win the round. I think that is what's so interesting about this roster and the way they play, and if they can continue to do it, this could full well be a very dominant LDL match.
We do see, of course, the castle being brought in with the mute. Again, we also have that Flores on the board, which I don't think it will be too much of an issue for them Flores drones to be effective. They will be utilized elsewhere. The map is expanded in this level of play as well. Players play everywhere. We will start to see the repels. Something they're very good at is watching each other's flanks and holding these flanks as well to stop any defenders from causing issues. And
what a wonderful use of the Sophia charge, by the way. Sorry.
Two. I agree. 2 castles with 1 is incredible utility. Unbelievable. Start to see Mad looking down below. Dokkaebi calls coming up. We'll shoot through the wall. We'll just about duck and miss. The Legion, not too sure where to go, will run away. And it will be Zach to get rid of Rixie early on. Down goes the Goyo. That's a big gun off the board to start off with.
Yeah, Ash seems aware as well that the Legion has made his way out of there. And I think this defensive hold is very well inspired by like sort of old school TSM. From what I can see, there's the double castle barricade on the jail windows. You've got the player over on Bolo, who's now fallen off, seems to be inside of the janitor corridor / long desk. And it's just a very sort of aggressive hold. They've kind of adapted a few of those OXG style plays in there with Vasi playing over towards Tom, sorry, playing over towards the Trump side with the castle barricades in tow. I think realistically the real way you sort of break this down on the attack is now you've got that man advantage, now you've got that pick. This is the point where you need to find one more, and there's the one more. You can start making plays, getting yourself in onto site. Sophia charges come in, they know exactly where this person is inside of Trump, they can hold him off, and now they can go for their plays.
Yeah, and the flashbang's coming off. It will be Mad to get another one though. And 5 versus 2, massive, but it will be a refrag coming into play as Affler will rotate behind. Open area, it doesn't matter because it will be finished off there on the Flores.
Yeah, Jinxie would say it, so I'm going to. Bad aim. But either way,
Bad aim.
He got the kill, and that's what's important. Moving on, LDL secured themselves yet another round, which is really, really good for them.
Will they do it again? Will they manage to win 2 to 3 attacking rounds just in a row? Or will Entropy now claw back a round? I think they do need to, else the only round they're going to get here is the one that they've been gifted. So they really do need to show us a little bit more on their defense. It's a good defense, but it's so easy for them to isolate players. Look at what they did to Legion. They made Legion run away. And then they got another pick as well on the Goyo early on. I just think it's... I feel like LDL are still really smart with the way they flush players out. They utilize that Dokkaebi so well, and the utility that they have been doing with the Sophia and Ash Just makes it so these Azamis, these Goyos, these castles, they don't really matter across the board. They don't waste utility, and I like that about a team. They are very conservative in that way.
I also want to
Again,
point out that I was entirely wrong.
Okay.
Because I tried to read into the sort of expectations we have of the team based on the performance and the way they seem to be sort of chalking themselves up on other maps, based on, like, you know, their win percentages. And the thing that I sort of came up with was the fact that LDL are probably a little less coordinated. They're one of those teams that like to make those solo plays. We did see that from Mad in round 1. And even in round 2, we saw Mad once again lurking. But the thing about it is they are so unbelievably coordinated as a team that we are seeing them just pick apart this defense so well every time. And it's everything I was saying in that last round, it was happening as I was bringing it up. It is so interesting to see how these players are prepared to take on this site without even actually having any true info.
And the ping 3 will come in down in the security area. Again, it will be the Legion to be hunted by those drones, and Mad will be looking for a pick or a gunfight soon with him. Legion, will he get pushed off as quick this time? He does have the support of Wamai, who's just sat watching the double door swing, but he does have to deal with the window. Yeah, Mad to take one down, Rise off the boards.
Oh,
That's
and another one!
early.
Mad on these lurk plays has managed to find himself 2 already in this round, and it's almost curtains at this point, as Mad's just going to be making his way over towards Bolo, trying to contest onto the Frost that is going to be playing in that position. They're opening the angles through onto Closet. This is very difficult for the defenders to come back from if they are going to try in the first place. Here comes the flashbangs in the Bolo corridor. That means Mad can now push up. They have got a pick on the window, but all of these plays just happening all at once.
Oh my god, it will be amazing. 2 versus 3 situation here with a minute on the clock. 2 on rappel, 3 in sight. They're scattered. We've got Zach going all the way from the bottom floor, looking to try and push up the back security stairs. Will he manage to find anyone here? The Dokkaebi call going to come out. That's going to definitely give him a lot of sound cues here. That's going to be good for this pinch as well. If that Dokkaebi can push the player off, that'd be really good.
Very true, and she knows about the man inside of Archives.
He's just running away. He's just about got out of there, I believe. He's just watching this door to stop the Dokkaebi from going up the stairs. Can we find it? No! Dokkaebi just going to watch that window. He's basically pinned in there.
Yeah, this is going to be a pivotal round for the side of Entropy if they are able to pull it from the 2v3 to a win, and that is exactly what they've done. They've got that 3v2 in their bag. It's just a bit of a shame that you managed to lose those 2 players very, very early, and it's something you definitely need to sort of reconsider as to these positions. You're playing too aggressive. You're not setting yourself up to fall off. There is no plan B. You are taking peaks and you are losing. Do something about it.
I mean, hey, Entropy now have got themselves in a comfortable position at this minute, but they can't relax too much. They want to get this this round swap. They want to get this 4-2. Predominantly, we will see LDL get another round here, I think. I think they will sort out their attack. They're very adaptive, and I think this next round will be theirs, especially now that we are going down to this basement site. We'll see how this Vigil fares, and we do also have well, we have the same setup. We just got rid of the Tachonka as well. A little bit of extra cams with an extra shield as well that's being brought. And again, we'll bring the Thermite this time as well. I think it's going to be interesting. We'll get those hatches open early again, but will we see early picks come in onto Entropy like LDL did before? And that could be, again, another reason why LDL might pick this round up.
10 seconds to insertion.
Yeah, definitely the case. I'm interested to see how the Scopos is played. This is like one of those things where I've kind of just like drifted away from what you were saying, but like I really am interested in this because there's so many times where we see Scopos played in so many different ways. Some people like to use it for rat plays, some people like to lurk, some people even like to go for some sort of crazy peek or crazy gunfight on a really far from sight sort of angle, and then just immediately sort of teleport back, have that sort of safety net to fall back on if need be. You do have those impacts in order to, you know, see if you can help with anything for your team. And well, Twitch is going to be just losing out on managing to find that mirror there. And he has managed to deal with the Goyo canisters though. That's going to allow
So
2
much
minutes
real estate there.
of 3 gone. Yeah.
Like, the Goyo is almost useless in that situation now with 1 canister left.
Whoa! You just caught a bullet through the
Ooh.
wall.
Yeah, IQ. Sorry, IQ. What a... wait, what? That was that sound cue? What the hell?
Yeah.
Oh my god. I thought they still had the IQ on the board. Oh, that's even crazier.
Then she
Here we go.
comes. Neither one really ready for this gunfight as well. Twitch is just going to fall off, get herself a reload, and Goyo's a bit too afraid to even try as shots come through the wall from both sides now as Twitch is just going to be hovering on the opposite side. Both of these players so close to each other but aren't quite aware. Some bullets come through from Twitch, dealing even more damage, but there's the death. Scopos finds one in the background, and Vigil's still going to be hanging around inside of this open area, potentially unsafe.
Here we go on the hatch as well. It will be Vigil just looking for any execute coming onto side, but he's also getting tracked here as well by the Doki call. They know where he is. Will they be able to flush him out of anything? Or will he manage to get a pick here? That's the question. He's going to drop into the site.
Yeah,
Okay, so he's kind of forfeited control.
Yeah, wants to
really
keep
bad.
himself alive. Pops the Goyo canister. That's going to be all 4 gone from this point onwards. Only 20 seconds. 40 seconds onwards, the execute is 4-3. Scopos spotted on the top floor by a drone. This could spell disaster for the defensive side, because losing 1 more is going to mean it's a 4v2. This is very scary now. You've only got 3 smokes in order to defend this.
Here we go. Will he drop the hatch? That's the question. They're going to most likely try and flash it out or smoke it out as well. Here we go. Also in the side, but oh, it's a TK. Oh my god, but it doesn't matter. It's going to leave Entropy with 1 player left. Can they win it? No, they can't. Zach will just drop down the hatch and get 1 more. This is so aggressive and it's so good from LDL. And like I say, here we go. Entropy's defense has just been like destroyed here. Like it's just fell apart. LDL have really shown us how aggressive they can be and it works on this attack. I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting the way these teams are playing right now. Entropy just fighting tooth and nail for every advantage they can find, but LDL shutting it down at every corner. And I think that's what's so interesting about this team. They aren't bringing counter operators. They're bringing a Twitch to deal with Goyo. That's it. There is no real counter operators involved in this push. They know there's going to be roamers. That's what they're bringing the Dekebi for. They don't care for Vigil. They don't care for anything else. They're bringing along the Thermite just for breach. They don't really care about anything else. They have his gun. That's it. They're bringing along the striker. Sorry, can't think of names for some reason. Because they want to have those EMPs in order to just assist if need be. Probably bringing along nades as well. I really doubt they're bringing along the duo utility of EMPs and can openers. And then you've also just got the Ash onside for lurk plays. That is the entire premise of their lineup. They are not playing into any specific strat. Whereas on the defensive side, they are using a lot of gimmicks. Look at the Scopos, look at the Mozzie, look at the Mirror. There is a lot involved in this defense, and it is being picked apart by a lineup that does not care.
Yeah, I mean, look how confident the Twitch is just to go straight into tunnel and take rid of 3 pieces of their utility, plus our gunfight and cause you know, a little bit of havoc down there. You know what I mean? And so coming into this round, will we just see them just walk past people? And that's what they are doing, I think. We're starting off as well. This defense just making sure they got the hatches, but they've just finished really setting up, and this attack's already droning and looking to go through that dirt tunnel again to see what they can get. I believe some of that Goyo's already been claimed as well, and I just think maybe it's a bit useless at this point. Maybe it could be used somewhere else, but hello. Striker goes down. Looks like possibly a C4 was utilized? Yeah, Mozzie's.
I don't know.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
But Scopos just looked like he was going for the same flanks he went for before, and this could be like really detrimental to the defensive side. They could lose this player once again because they're doing the same thing they did last time.
They have picked their striker up, and here, yeah, you can start to see they have got a lot of control of that open area side, but it is Zach at the top of that staircase, and like you say, Scopus could be in trouble here. Only has EMPs, so can't really do too much to flash him off, but waiting for his teammate to possibly push down. Scopus will push
Throw a nade.
off.
Striker, throw a nade. You could have caught that guy. It's way too late now. Why are you throwing the nade now? Sorry.
We'll open the middle open area wall as the late nade comes in. We'll allow a little bit of better line of sight here, though. But they still have to get rid of this multi in this open area side as well. The question is, how will they deal with it? They do also have a Goyo to contend with who's watching Mozzie's side, and Skopos is just giving that information and just trying to help Mozzie. He can definitely hear that someone is on his staircase, and he's just telling him what's happening here. But we do start to see the attack open up the wall onto the A-bomb sites here from that security side. Here it goes. It's going to be opened, and those Goyo canisters are pretty much gone there now as well. I think it's just the mirror that they have to deal with, unless that's been popped as well. The plant going to go down there on the wall. Any C4s? C4 deployed. We'll get one. It is a beautiful pick there, but the hatch is going to apply pressure onto the mirror.
It wasn't the hatch. It was Garage. The bait and switch.
Garage.
They've managed to get themselves in a position in Garage by baiting those players that were playing in there out of it. They've got them on the red corridor. Zach's found a kill because of it. And this is so good for the attacking side.
Oh my god, a 3v2 as Zach will get another upstairs as well. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Rise. Plant is going to go down again, and it's up to Rise to possibly get one here. Can he drop the hatch essentially and get something? He's got 40 seconds now to really decide what he's going to do. A little bit less time than that as well, as the attack just floods away and tries to hold these crucial angles. But again, this long angle sight that he's got to watch.
Oh!
Shots through. Oh my god. Rise will get Zach from behind that bomb. He now needs to decide where that last person is. Mad gonna be far back on the hatch. Does have a nice angle. This is an unwinnable gunfight for sure.
Yeah, low HP. There's no way you win that. You have to be able to tank that first shot in order to be able to squeeze it out of them, and that's really unfortunate. But that was almost so good. But the fact that in the first place, the side of LDL they were able to pick apart the defense that well that they could bait people from a specific position. That was 4D chess. They knew exactly what they were going for at the very beginning of the game. They wanted to pull those people out of Garage without showing there's going to be presence in Garage. They did exactly that. They put the Dekebi over there. They got the kill, and that led them to be able to have that control. They did lose the Dekebi later on, but the Dekebi had already rotated and positioned herself in order to be bait so that your Madarino could get into position. This is exactly what you want to see from the side of LDL, and they're doing so well at playing into Entropy without bringing along operators to specifically gimmick against them.
LDL are just like animals. It's just instinct to them, you know, how to get into those positions. They open up those walls, and that plan, although it got denied, it was still such a good, like, bait. I agree. Like, honestly, they're one of the best teams I've watched, like, this round. Like, I've VOD reviewed their last game, and this is so much better as well. Like, they are showing us everything. I think they've definitely picked up on a few things, and Bank is their map for attack. And I'm going to be interested to see how this defense comes off now. We've got the Valkyrie on the board. A lot of information and information denial being brought. You can see as well the Fenris, and again, that Vigil will be utilized to deny as many drones as possible. We do have the Nook, though, which could also bypass a lot of information tools like those Valkyrie cams. We'll see how that's utilized, as well as bringing the IQ to just hard counter the Valkyrie, which, again, I like to see Entropy utilizing their brain a little bit and making sure they do counter those picks with other counterable operators. But is it necessary to do that? Let's see.
Well, the thing is, you've kind of played right into the hands of LDL here. Because they've brought along the IQ, yes, but the IQ is primarily for dealing with this Fenrir. And the fact that you're bringing along the IQ in favor of bringing along the Dekebi means you're selling yourself short to this Vigil. Vigil is 100% completely uncontested now. You've left the 7 and 2 player that is playing a solo lurking operator completely free. There is no Dekebi, there is no Jackal, there is nobody looking for this man.
I'm sorry, just a C4 to take that IQ off the board. Yeah. Doc's just about survived and got a kill from it. No way, Barner. What is going on? What an incredible play. Nomad looking to get some revenge, but it doesn't matter because Matt's there again to clean it up. Oh my god. And he's got more stims to stick in his arm and say, hey, I got 2 players. Now I'm going back to site. Can he get a bird? Oh my god, he's trying to escape. Mad just getting held by a long angle, but he doesn't need to peek and play aggressive now, even though we know
Bro,
he will.
He's
He doesn't
fighting
need
World
to.
War 3. What
On
is
his
this?
own.
Yeah.
He's like 3 men in one. He just keeps injecting himself.
He's
like, Entropy's
crazy,
fell
man.
apart here. I'm going to be honest. This is not Entropy's attack. This is not... I'm disappointed because they spend so long droning, and this is a thing that they've always done. In every single game, they spend so long getting information, working together to get picks. And unfortunately, this just doesn't feel like the Entropy I'm used to, because they're just getting destroyed by one man. And that never normally happens.
That's something you don't see often as well, like the utilization of the camera, and then you just get denied by this vigil that you've left available with no contention. You have left this vigil available. It is your own fault that this is going so south, and you haven't brought along the Dekebi to be able to deal with it. You need to be able to counter this entire lineup, not just one player. You brought along the IQ. The IQ has nades that can deal with Azami, yes. But you had no ability to deal with this Doc on the top floor because you didn't have enough players in order to pinch the guy. You also had no ability to deal with this vigil because you had no way of tracking him or keeping him in check because you sacrificed the Dekebi. And you have absolutely no way of breaking this defense because you do not have the capabilities to deal with those operators.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you say, we get an easy... Okay, we get an easy C4 kill. Then where is everyone else? They're all on windows. Hibana, window. The, I think with Nomad as well on a window. And a Nook going, you know, to try and walk in for a window, but then getting contested by that Doc. That's 3 one-on-one gunfights. There's no effort there. And Doc went down as well. And he still managed to... Obviously, he's got up with the Doc stims. And then he's just took that gunfight. That's the confidence that LDL have just to go, okay, I can still win this gunfight. And they just get 3 picks from it. Like, that's incredible. But as we move on, we're going upstairs. LDL looking to pretty much keep that Doc on their lineup.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame them.
And the thing that you're going to notice as well is they're keeping a core of like Azami, Mute, and Doc because they're all versatile, right? They're all versatile operators that can be used in multiple different situations, but they're changing up the 2 gimmicks. And those 2, they're going to be bringing along this time, the Castle and the Aruni. That's the thing to consider. Last round, we saw the Vigil and the Fenrir. This round, we're seeing the Castle and the Aruni because it brings along something different to the table. You've now forced their hand to bring along the Flores to help deal with Azami, but now you've got a Castle to deal with as well. You have the Ash to deal with the mirrors. There's no mirrors. You have the Zofia there for explosives. That's fine. She's just going to be playing on windows. And the Buck is there entirely to try and deal with any of these sort of like lurky, ratty players so he can get around very, very smoothly below with that skeleton key. They found Doc on the main stairs very, very early. This could be a very clean pickup for them. The problem is Doc brings sacrificable utility to the defensive lineup. You need to find a more important pick. Yes, it's a very big pick because he has a good gun, he has good utility, and it's all in pocket. But you still have the Azami who's regenerating that utility. You still have the Mute with his shotgun. Like, they're big factors in this lineup.
Oh my god, Appler gonna take Unsert down, a 3v5 situation, and well, this attack is just waiting for an execute here. They've got to deal with the Aruni gates, but that shouldn't be too hard because these man advantage is definitely in favor of the attack. But we're waiting here. Can we see the Mute get a pick? He's going to take some damage. He's forced out. Will be taken down by Affler. 2 versus 5. And it's looking to be favorable for Entropy. This time they're playing a lot smarter and they're getting rewards. But I must say, Mad, he kind of sacrificed himself. Not really. He's just playing overly aggressive, running around the map. And I think maybe he shouldn't have done that. But looking, you know, I just feel like he should have been waiting for something to happen, waiting for that information to be gathered.
I think when you're in a position where you gather this much of an advantage, though, and you play so well in the last round, you are more willing to take risks. And I think that is something that is good about the side of LDL. They're deciding to take a risk because they feel like there's an opportunity. And if you're not taking risks because you feel like there's no opportunity, then you're not doing enough for your team or yourself. So I think that this is a really good round to learn from for the side of LDL. And if they can learn from it, then they can do very well. And they could very well just run away with this game.
Look at the lines of sight. They've been open. What a headshot. Zach to get 1, but he's going to get 3 more as the plant goes down. The pressure's on. Can he rotate through that site to find? The castle barricade is stopping one line of sight, but he still has 2 walls to deal with and a long angle into the computer room. Oh, it's not going to happen. But do you see how Entropy have just opened up 3 different walls and are just sitting as far away as possible just to essentially say, yeah, you can't come anywhere near me. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah. And I think the really interesting thing now is how the side of LDL are going to change. Because they're on the defense. They have to take the initiative now. They have to decide what was the problem and bring something new. And what they've done is they've taken away the castle, they've taken away the Aruni, and they've, most importantly, taken away the dock. Instead, they're leaning into information. They're leaning into the Mozzie. They're leaning into the Valkyrie. They've got the Legion, who can be used as an informational operator because of the sound cue and also like sort of the way his gadget works, and the Mute for anti-intel. This is entirely an intel-built setup. If you play into intel as an attacker, you're making a mistake. If you bring along the Brava, it's a good idea. If you bring along the Dekebi, it's a fantastic idea. This is an informational-based lineup. If you bring along these operators that are counter-utility when it comes down to the information game, you will have an advantage. And instead, we are seeing the exact same lineup brought along from the side of Entropy. And this is where I feel like they're not learning.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, well, we'll see exactly how this attack goes. We do have the book on the board. They did do well with flushing players out with the mute. That's what they did well before. Now, the question is, how will they utilize this, play against this new setup? Straight away, we're just going to get straight into it. The Mozzie Pest will, of course, deny these drones, and the attack is going to be slowed down a little bit. But they like this slow game. That's what Entropy do. They're just setting themselves up. And we do, of course, have these armies for that bomb site as well. Just these long angles being utilized. And you've seen how they've changed the bomb site again. Like you said, they've removed a few operators. The castle, Iruni's gone as well. And they're trying to essentially stop them from getting in that building. And they know from the last few rounds that has done well, but it doesn't matter, Afla. Going to take Mad off the board. First pick again. And it's going to leave LDL a little bit open and vulnerable, but will they still be able to get some fighting picks back? We still have one player, the Legion, inside of the teller's office. Can we see anything come from him? The drone economy will slowly get taken down as we start to lose quite a lot of drones here.
There is people positioned on this marble stairs, which could lead to him getting cut up. But if someone is hovering around a bit further up the stairs, we could potentially see them get caught instead. And there's going to be Mozzie inside of stocks, so there is potential for it, but it might not happen as early as we think. There goes one pick. Zach manages to find Tom on the opposite side. That's going to be the ace, so there's no real potential for the breach here on top square if it hasn't already been achieved.
I mean, let's see. But I think that soft wall there is a soft wall, so they can utilize the Sophia or the Ash. Depends which one they want, but it doesn't matter. Oh my God. Blacklist just going to take the Legion from behind. A nice little pinch there. It's standard practice. They've done some really good communication there. Could we be another one, though?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Yes, he has. The bug's just a little bit oblivious. Was there no cameras there? But it doesn't matter. Blacklist will get another one.
Yeah, unfortunately.
3 situation.
A small mistake to not run down the stairs there. The only real valid opportunity to live was that. But since the mistake was made, we can't really turn back time and figure it out. We do have a 3v2 situation. Not entirely lost for these defenders, but definitely something that they're going to struggle with completing.
They did get it open on the right side.
Yeah.
They're trying to open up the soft wall with the Flores drones, you see. And Rise is going from below, looking to possibly get something from this staircase. But he has, of course, been alerted by the bleepers, and he's got barbed wire to break. Can he do anything? It's uncertain. But Zach will get Afla. Zach will get another Blacklist to go down. They've all swung him. Oh my God, but Rise going to get one more, and it's Zach to finish off the round, utilizing that as army Barrett. Oh my God. Beautiful play.
Yeah, incredibly well done from... well, Zach in general managed to find the last 3 picks, and his teammate was only really there as information gain. Now, match point for LDL on their opponent's map pick?
I believe so. I mean...
I did bring up at the start that this seems to me like a game, like based on what I could tell, information from the teams, it seems like one of those games where we're going to be seeing them trade map picks.
See, the thing is, though, even though it's obviously map picks here, it's a different, Entropy might have picked bank. This is still as much LDL's map. We know that from watching round one, and they were just so strong. Even if it is E-Wave, who might not be at their prime roster, and that's from their coach, by the way. They might not be at their prime roster, but I still feel like we saw a massive display, and that's why I'm kind of like, oh, it could have gone further. If it's Entropy's map and LDL have potential to be really good on it, I just thought maybe it would go to that overtime. I kind of overestimated it a little bit, but I generally think the map 2 picks will be better, but hey, we've still got a round to go. Entropy might actually do the comeback. We've seen a lot of comebacks in the last few rounds. Sorry, in the last round of ESA Swiss. So, hey, we'll see what happens.
I will say these vault cams aren't exactly my favorite thing in the world. But
he just yoinked them out.
Yeah, he's just kind of throwing them on like really silly spots. Like no real attempt to hide them.
It's like me in couple lobbies. Although we will see the Valkyrie down below. It will be mad to get rid of the knock though.
Mag dumping into the body too. Oh, please get this kill. Okay, there we go. Manages to find Vigil in the meantime, and well, Doc now going to be trying to play aggressive inside a stock. Positions himself otherwise towards the double door, moves up on Bolo to see if he can try and cut anybody up as they try and take a reswing. It's going to be Ash getting scared from below, tries to take a bit of an engagement through the leaves, but isn't quite able to find it, as Doc going to be trying to go on the turnaround, finds one inside of stock, and now we're having an ambi situation where he's going out of his mind. Affler there to shut it down though.
Oh, but it's not good because Uncertain now left in a 1v3. His teammate's down. If he can pick him up, it will be a 2 versus 3, but it doesn't look likely. He's very far away, and he's got a player to fight through. There it is, the finish. 2 players at the top of his stairs. Has he got any cams on him? That's the question. He can go back down, but then he'll have one to take on. Oh, but it doesn't matter. He looks the wrong way, and Rise will take Uncertain down as he pushes through the site. Entropy, I think a little bit more efficient now.
Definitely so. Entropy on the comeback a little bit, but it still seems a little ropey in some situations. We saw that attacking push on the top floor earlier on, where they did lose very, very closely, but they lost a 3v2 advantage. And that's something to really consider. Like, they're not playing into this utility very well at all. And I think if LDL realizes that, it could be a big problem. Instead, they're kind of trying to play their own game, similar to how LDL did. But the thing is, LDL, when they were doing it, they were playing around the utility that was involved with the site setup. They weren't playing against it. Whereas, on the opposite side, we're seeing Entropy still try and challenge a lot of these things instead of play into them, which this style favors. So I think that's where things are kind of going wrong for Entropy. But when they do find openings, they are doing well.
It looks like Entropy is kind of like picking up that momentum now, and they're very good at doing so. We've seen in previous games, they have just been really good at getting back into that second half of the game. The question is it too late? Maybe. However, we are starting to see a lot of blunders coming in from LDL, and we saw that on map 2 last round against E-Wave, where they did, of course, pretty much drop half of the game. They literally dropped the second half of the game.
Yeah.
I think they lost 3 rounds in a row.
I'd like to point out quickly
LDL
as well.
Can do that.
I'd like to point out quickly, no Twitch on the attacking side.
Okay.
They have no capacity to deal with these Goyo canisters other than Ash and nades. That means that they have no truly safe way to deal with the Goyo canisters that are on the server side.
Question is, what will they go for? Maybe they'll use that as a late round play and maybe try and cook the nades from hatches. I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see. Are they just going to like oh, here we go. Nice. There's one. Rixie will get an entry frag.
He's hacking
there onto the Valkyrie. Zach just trying to find another. We'll retreat. We just start to see inching up that back stairs. He might get taken from the skylight as well. Is that the Goyo, I believe? Oh, no, it's not. It's the Azami.
By the looks of things, but we do see all of the players on the side of LDL are just kind of reverting themselves back into sort of site positions. They're getting themselves in these power positions. They don't want to play too aggressively. They're only really playing sort of like aggressive on the vigil, and the reason why I think is just to try and like make sure they can like sort of conserve these picks, keep themselves safe. And I mean, who else are you going to put aggressive other than the guy that's 14 and 4?
I mean, indeed, and we can start to see now these Dokkaebi calls coming in. Will we see a swing come in from Zach? I'm not too sure. He looks like he wants to. That IQ is teasing him in that open area side. He might just push up in a moment as well, just to see if he can find a little ratty kill and get his team back on a balance and stop that attack from dominating. But it will be Blacklist to take Unsert down, a 3v5. We will start to see the concrete being utilized. Will they get rid of it? Will they put pressure on him? Yeah, they're going to flash it. He's not too close to it, and they're going to open up the hatch. That's the question. Will they manage to flush him off? He's in a good position at the minute, but in about 30 seconds time, it might be a different game. The other side of site is getting destroyed from those hatches as those attackers look to put pressure on the rest of his team.
Yeah, they seem to be fully aware of this as army on blue stairs as well. The push coming in from behind and in front at the same time. That's going to secure them a kill. It's now a 1 versus 5 on site as Rise drops the hatch, secures himself a quick bag of 2, and wins the round for his team.
Wow, this is the Entropy momentum kicking in. Round 12, we're moving up in the world. Entropy showing us how smart they are. Like, they waited for the hatch to get open. They waited to flash. One of them dropped. They made sure that they knew where people were in sight. I think the Nomad was on the garage side and was just causing issues for the other two to deal with. And so it just isolated that Azami on the lower stairs, and they just swang together. Great use of each other, communication, and that utility there as well that was left. Beautiful to see. However, we're now moving in to this 6-5 match point. Will there be an overtime? I really want my prediction to be right. Don't know about you, but yeah, this will be interesting. If we can see this overtime, oh my god, this will be the best game of Bank I've watched in a while.
It definitely could go to overtime, and it also definitely could be a comeback for Entropy, but I'm still sticking with that prediction I had prior, where LDL come away from this with an 8-6. I think that is the most likely option because obviously both teams are being favored on the attack right now. I mean, that's pretty clear. But the thing about it is more the fact that when it comes down to the way they're playing, the versatility they're bringing, and also the sort of confidence they still have even after being punished in these rounds, I feel like LDL are the ones that are going to remain unshaken, unbroken.
And looking at this preemptive pick, we've got the Warden, which should be able to deal with whatever attack they've got planned here. The Sense is on board. The question is, how will they utilize these senses? I'm assuming that'll be for later rounds sight denial, because we saw a lot of long angles being held on this Entropy attack last time. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's interesting to see the Sense, and we do have the IQ as well. Just looking for all that information. Those Valk cams going to be found from below. It will be the Mozzie though, playing really ratty, really low in the basement. Possibly looking later in the round like we've seen before to get some picks here. Indeed,
a few shots being put out onto the soft walls just to see if they can find anything. The holes in the ceiling have been spotted. I'm not sure if the defender really truly knows about them, so they could be pre-fired, but also it is a shotgun facing down that hole, so Buck could full well lose his life. Stock windows just being opened as they want to try and get a bit more position on towards a couple more angles of the shop of the top floor. It is Mozzie that loses his life to Rixie on the Buck inside of open area, and this is where things become a bit dicey for the defenders. The defenders need to make a play now. They need to be able to sort of equalize this man count or get themselves an important pick off like this ace that's playing on windows or something like that. But instead, it's going to be the ace to find another one for himself. That's your 14-6 player down in the bin. Is anybody able to save this round now?
Yeah, I mean, look how quick they're just losing man advantage. I think they just got really confident. And that's the issue with LDL's aggression. It slowly withers away throughout this game. And now we have a lot more opportunity to use the remaining 3 senses to cause problems. Yes, they are conscious of the Warden. Yes, it gives Warden prime opportunity to swing out. But to be honest, I mean, we should be in a position where that Warden gets picked off in a minute.
Well, the sense walls aren't counterable by Warden anymore.
Okay,
That's
so
something
even
to
better.
consider, because they are considered light screens and not smokes. So that is something to consider as well. Warden is effectively useless against the light screens.
Perfect, and we will start to see now Mad will get Rise. We are 3v3, but it will be Rixie to take on Cert. A 2 versus 3 situation. The bomb is looking to oh, it's going to go down on the floor from Mad. It doesn't matter, it's not going to be planted, but it will refrag from Blacklist, as it's now a 1 versus 2. Oh my god. Blacklist, oh, he's just going to finish it up. Mute had no chance of finishing anything there. And now we are going to see the next round. Round 13. Woo! Yeah, overtime! Hell yeah!
This is where everything needs to change for LDL. LDL need a defensive win. If they can get this defensive win, they can run away with this game. They are not out of the woods if they win this round, but there is a very high chance that they can if they're able to win this round.
And we'll see exactly how they're going to go for it. We do have, of course, Entropy on that attack again. Hey, I mean, LDL really needs to kind of pick the right site, sort of change up this, I don't know, they just need to not get 2 players off the board early. They need to just play a little bit more chill. They've done well with C4 kills. They've done well with getting players off the board in smart ways. It's just, they're just missing out on prime opportunities to stay alive longer. And this roster coming in from Entropy looks to be pretty promising. There's a lot to deal with. Again, the IQ, it's an okay pick. Is it necessary? Probably not. But hey, it is being utilized here, and they are going to be running it to make sure we do get rid of those Valk cams, because we have seen that LDL can throw a C4 and get rid of one of their most important players. So yeah,
Definitely so. And I think that if there's a better time to, well, if there's a good time to wake up, it's going to be right now, if any. We're seeing a lot of this heavy util setup from the side of the defense, and Mozzie has managed to secure himself a drone quite early on, so I think that's going to be heavily playing into, well, he secured himself a couple by the looks of things. Going to play into that intel game, because he's still got one on top marble as well as the one that's in open area.
interesting. I mean, he's going to be able to use that pretty much for those players that will be playing off site, and that's going to be useful for them anyway. They should be able to drone out the attackers in no time. We'll see how they utilize that. And it could, again, play really well into Entropy's, into taking Entropy off the board early. We never know. But we do have that Flores on the board as well, which will start work on getting rid of utility as soon as it can, as well as securing this top of open area. See if we can get rid of anyone from them soft walls, as well as the top of elevators will be opened up by Blacklist. And just playing these windows at the minute, waiting for that information like Entropy have started doing, and they're playing a lot better in my opinion, and I think they definitely have potential to secure some more rounds here.
Definitely the case. And now with the way this round is shaping up, we do see a lot of setup coming from the attacking side and not really a lot of initiative being taken, as the defenders are all very, very well grouped together. They're not really trying to take any sort of big risks. They're not trying to force any sort of advantage. Instead, we have Mad hanging around on the marble stairs, and that is the furthest out it goes.
Thing is here, they're setting up the same way as they've won before. There's 3 walls being opened. It will be on Cert to go down now. Appler making sure of that. And we do have the Valkyrie below, possibly for a C4 play to get rid of the player in cameras. But it will be Rise to get rid of Mad. Refrag going to come in, though. Appler to go down. Luna just playing that Legion will get 1. But it will be Blacklist to take down Zach. Now a 2 versus 4. 30 seconds on this clock. And the attack is trying to execute. Question is, will we see this Legion get anything? Oh, big pick from below. There's 1. Problem is, someone else is waiting for him. Now they know he's off site. They can start the plant, which they will do. 40 seconds, plant down. The Rappels are the option now. They can just leave. And here we go, open area. We'll find possibly the pick. Yes, it will. Rixie takes down our final player here, the Mozzie, off the board.
Indeed they will, and That's going to be really, really good. Because now you've got that round advantage. You're able to bring it forward into what is probably going to be a defensive loss, bringing us to 7-7. And then you have your next attacking round, which you're pretty confident you can win, because it's been very good for the attack throughout this entire game. And realistically, probability says that we go 7-7. We go to round 15. Entropy takes it. We move on to map 2.
Attackers need
Hey,
to
I mean, I'll be
locate
happy.
and defuse
My
as many
prediction
bombs
will
as they
be
can.
right, I believe. Did I say 8-7 Entropy, or did I do the other way around? You said LDL, right?
I did say LDL.
Okay, so hopefully I'll be right. That'll be a crazy prediction. That'll be a crazy prediction. But we do have the dock coming in here on Entropy's side, as well as the Goyo canisters, the Mirror, the Valkyrie, the Legion. Pretty standard to what we're used to. However, we will now see LDL bringing back that Dokkaebi, and like you say, realistically, it should be an LDL round from watching the first half of the game. Will it be? Not too sure. Entropy might have switched on now. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. The striker is in, and we will have that Twitch being brought back. The Twitch, again, is very useful. We've seen it through the rest of this game. It will be able to destroy those Goyos as it has been. Will we see any Entropy players try and counter that Twitch drone early on? Probably not. No. And there it is. We'll get one, although they do get rid of the Twitch drone. So they only get one Goyo canister for that one Twitch drone, and we still have a Goyo canister on the desk for later on. So they will have to waste a bit more utility if they want to get rid of it. Else that denial will be a little bit easier. Oh, and there's another canister on the door as well. So they missed that. So there's two there.
Yeah, I think that was entirely down to just a misplay with the drone. When it comes down to the inability to be able to secure like more than just one, because they went for that one instead of going for the others on the door first, and that allowed them to just get rid of the drone earlier than they maybe would have wanted to. So it's one of those situations where they're just going to go for it again. But having this Twitch available in general and working, even securing two Goyo canisters, that's 40 seconds that they can deny you that you've just taken away.
I mean, yeah, every second counts, but they do now have to deal with the rest, the remaining ones here, which they can do easily. But I guess that's what Twitch is for. Use it, get rid of as much utility as possible. If you can't get it all, that's okay, but that's what it's there for. As long as you get something. Atlas still in open area here. We do have a very strong defensive area right now being held, but it looks like the attack is kind of just converging on their positions like before. The tunnel is massive. They're trying to make sure we get some hatches, possibly. Oh, maybe not. We'll see. We do have Striker with a hard breach gadget. So yeah, we might see them get that. Damage onto Afla.
Bringing along those hard breach gadgets and nades throughout this game, and I think that's one of those things where you just kind of want the hard breach gadgets because you can have them. But the nades are realistically what the striker's being brought for, like something to be able to clear out these positions, because I don't think they're truly too worried about being able to get hatch presence.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, they are all three hatches are already open, to be fair. So yeah, the nades will be utilized as best as possible, and you can already see they're actually starting to do that. They are slowly just pushing out this Goyo. Dokkaebi core coming in. Will he get one? Afla! Just swing Zach! Or will we get a pick from the IQ? Oh my god. Does he know? Just a pre-fire the wall! I mean, he's seen the hole, but he's going to run away. He's left the Goyo alive. He doesn't really know what's happening. He might rotate through that security, though. We'll see.
Very, very potentially. It looks like they want to go for it. C4 finds two. This could be a defensive win. Entropy could lock this out now. The swing comes round. The striker doesn't find it. It's Tom instead to lock out this game. That is going to be an 8-6 in favor of Entropy. My prediction goes bad.
Woo! Damn! LDL, you could have just got one more round and I would have been dead on. Oh, you know what? Fair play. Entropy have really shown us that momentum matters in a game, and they can bring it. They can make it happen. They can tire the opponent out. And LDL played aggressive. Well, it's fine. Entropy just adapted. They played very, very smart. And I really do like the way Entropy brought that back.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's super interesting to see how they're able to really just have such an existential comeback. They were on the back foot for so long, and then being able to pull themselves back from what I believe was like was it a 6-2s or was it 6-3?
6 6-2, 6-2.
I think it was
Yeah.
6-2, and that is such a phenomenal comeback for them, to be able to actually just piece things together and get all the way there.
Wow. Again, it's cafe. Woo! Okay, we're going to map number 2 very shortly. Oh, it's going to be. We've seen Cafe a lot, and it's getting picked more. Last season, well, season 8 when I was here, season 9. In the qualifiers, it wasn't picked a lot. It was banned a lot, so I didn't get to cast Cafe. So I'm looking forward to it. Very fundamental map. We've seen in the Entropy versus Vertifly game that map 2 was Cafe, although it was an 8-6 win. I'm not too sure how that's going to go. I think Entropy have definitely got a lot that they can bring to the table on Cafe. The bans would be interesting to see how they go. But yeah, I can't wait to see how that map goes. Yeah, I haven't really got a prediction for it though.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably the most tactical map that we've seen out of the 3. So I think that very possibly this could be again this time an Entropy game for that simple reason. So I think it probably goes Entropy's way, and we end up with this a 2-0. Who knows? My prediction could be bad again.
I mean, yeah, I want LDL to do this because I really want to see Nighthaven Labs, and I want to see how Entropy versus LDL will be on Nighthaven Labs because I know that'll be a competitive game. That's got to be competitive unless they run out of steam.
Yeah,
that's the only way it won't be.
Very much the case. And I mean, at the moment, with the way these sort of teams are playing, it's possibly going to be another attacker-sided affair. With especially how the top floor's played as well. I think there's going to be a lot of or a very high attacking win rate on the top floor, at least.
I mean, yeah, that's predominantly what a lot of people like. I mean, sometimes teams will avoid that very top floor and they'll just play the middle sites in the kitchen. But
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of teams just go for 2 middle sites and actually like the top floor. They like denying them hatches. They like playing the mirrors, or they like playing the open walls to deny people from getting into that piano side. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
100% at the moment. I think we're gonna cut ourselves to a break. So we will see you when this map is starting. See you there.
Yeah. Cafe. We love cafe.
We love cafe.
Welcome to Cafe Dostoevsky. What was that? That was like crazy. All right. We're a good duo.
Synergy, boys. Synergy.
British, innit?
Yeah, pretty much.
This time we get a banning phase.
Yeah, I get the waffle for a bit. Right, first ban's Deimos. That means they're going for aggro bans. They're going to be trying to either go for one of 2 things, aggro or intel. On the opposite side, it's a little hard to judge, but it's Cafe, so I mean, attacker bans on Cafe, you could do the gimmick and go Amaru, but realistically, it's likely a Nomad if they play anything like PC. So
this is when we just see a Blackbeard.
It's Shield or Nomad. That's what it is. Yeah, you aren't wrong. But I think on the opposite side, when it comes down to defense, if they're banning a shield, then likelihood is we see something like maybe Clash. It's a bit of like a mixed bag for banning Blackbeard because there's no true combo ban. You can ban Valk, you can ban another shield like a defensive shield, you can ban the Echo
Vigil,
like they
maybe?
did before. There's the Valk.
Ooh, okay.
And then the final ban on this side is literally just going to be something informational or something aggressive. So we could see something like that silly little Vigil ban or something stupid, or like a mute. You know what I mean? Like something that's going to play into like a good combo for the Deimos.
Zombie, maybe?
Azami is another good option, but instead we see the Mirror. I feel like Mirror's a very... I feel like Mirror's a throwaway. I don't think Mirror's a good ban in this position.
I mean, it's so easily accessible from every direction,
Yeah.
especially upstairs. Like, you can get that from any window pretty much. Like, with Ash charges, even pushing that Twitch there as well. We will be getting a rehost though, unfortunately. Woo!
Let's get some
Rehost!
W rehosts in the chat, boys. Let's go.
Oh, please. Oh, well.
Yeah, I think Mirror entirely is just a throwaway. Like, I don't think they had a plan for the defender ban, and they just kind of went, we'll go Mirror, it's fine. Like, it's one of those where like she doesn't really correlate to the rest of the bans, and I really don't think it's something that you should be as worried about as they seem to be if they're going for her as a ban directly. So I think this could be a bit of a mistake, or maybe not a mistake, but a misstep.
Yeah, I mean, it depends how much like they're going to use. I don't think either of these teams will use it. Like you say, I think they're better than using just a mirror because the game's changed so much since that was an actual good strategy. It's still viable, but it's not really utilized as much. We play Windows, we play getting rid of a lot of, we spend time getting rid of utility, right? So it's just, yeah, I don't like it. But I don't mind the Valkyrie personally. It also stops the force of the IQ. We might finally see IQ go to bed. Never know. If the Fenrir has been brought onto the board, we likely will see an Azami being played as well, which is standard. Yeah, Flores will probably be on the board as well to deal with them.
I think just with the presence Azami has, like just not banning her on Cafe is like a really big deal. Like I think we're gonna be seeing a lot of Azami. I think we're gonna be seeing a lot of Castle. And I think potentially we could be seeing a Rooney alongside it. Like we're gonna be seeing them try and use operators that are gonna force utility usage out of the enemy team. And I think that with Azami being the centerpiece of that entire sort of play style, that means the castle is going to be there on a few of the sites at least. And then alongside that, the Aruni is just a big upgrade for like somebody that wants to, slow down a push onto the Azami. So when you're playing this top floor, you're going to have the Azami and piano. You can put that Aruni gate on the door to effectively serve as a castle barricade, but also have that ability to be able to shoot back and forth through it. And then you can put the other two on the walls for red, so that if they do get the wall open, what are you doing with it? You know what I mean? Like you've still got an Aruni gate there. You've still got an Aruni gate there, and you've still got the Azami playing aggressive on it. So it's like, yeah, you can get rid of the Aruni gate, but it's just going to be restructured and replaced when it's gone. You know what I mean?
You know
So
what? It's
it's
funny.
Like, the Azami's a big centerpiece.
LDL, they started against E-Wave on defense on Cathay, which was their second map, and they actually decided to ban the Azami and the Flores last time they played. E-Wave banned the Mirror and the Blackbeard, so we are seeing very similar like bans, but just being reversed here. Like we're seeing the Mirror and the Blackbeard come back. However, LDL have decided this time they want to keep that Azami and that Flores on the board. You know what? I don't mind. I just think it's going to be a bit harder of a game for the attacking side in that sense, like you say. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I just think it's rough, man. Like playing it, like allowing the Azami to sneak through on a map like Cafe where she is extremely prevalent, and leaving in a lot of these operators that are like core operators to play around her as well. Mainly Castle. Castle's my big one at the moment. Like I'm really worried about how they're gonna play Castle for the bottom floor. Like bottom floor Azami Castle, it's borderline unwinnable if you're able to have like decent side players. You know what I mean? And these guys, they're competitive players. They're gonna be decent. So it's like, what are we doing here? Like, I think bottom floor is just gonna be like perma 100% defensive win rate. Unless something spectacular happens.
Unless they avoid it as well. Like, we might see that happen. We know that Cafe, you can avoid one of the bomb sites if you don't want to go there. Okay. We will probably, I think, just to save us, go to a break then. Yeah, because we're going to end up like fully analyzing every attacking position and defender ban. All right, guys, we're going to a break. We'll be back. Sorry about that, guys. All right, let's jump back into Cafe after, well, the rehost. Oh my god. Okay. We have, of course, starting off on the defense. LDL, Valour, and Entropy on the attack. We will start to see the castle being brought in, which is nice to see. But like we said before, the Rooney could have been an option to be brought as well, because it is more versatile. It is like a piece of utility that you can look through, you can see through, but also will take a little bit of utility off the attacking side as well. Oh, we get to see as well that the Azami is in use. Will it be countered by any Floreses? We'll see later on in the game. Currently not, though, as we do have the Lion, the IQ, and it will be the Grim as well. I like the Grim pick because, hey, we get to see a lot of Grims pushing people off a line of sight as well. So, we'll start off the round then. I'm waiting for Nash as well. He's just died. So.
No, I'm here.
Oh, you're here? Hello.
Yeah, I am. I'd like to say I called the sort of combination of the castle as army. Something we can't see here is, I think, is this actually castled or no? Wait, I can't tell if it's like a replay bug or they like tore it down or what. I don't know. But they do have information on the Echo now. They know exactly where he is. They know he's being run. So they can do these plays, and it is going to be aggressive. In come the Yin Candelas. They tried to get in on Heaven Balcony. They're not quite able to. The Grim's already in on Piano. He's found one for himself. And now we see a little bit of stagnation from these players. There's a little bit of damage taken on, I say a little bit, a lot of damage taken on Afla. And he is just going to want to try and open this wall for extra angles, extra versatility when it comes down to taking on these engagements.
Yeah, with 1 minute 45 on the clock, we do see the Frost inside of that freezer. And hey, this 2 versus 3 situation is big. Entropy looking to try and isolate players, but it's going to be really hard. Then walls are soft, but they're not open. And they're just trying to make people move or swing because they know LDL is aggressive, but it will be Luna to find Afla, and it will be a pick from Mad to finish off that round. LDL taking their first defensive round here away from Entropy.
Indeed, they are. And I think that, like, when it comes down to this entire situation, you're feeding in to this entire playstyle of we're going to bring along the Azami for practically every bomb site. There is going to be a difference here on the second floor fireplace reading, but that's realistically just because Azami isn't necessary. They're bringing along that Aruni that I said before in order to just slow players down, and they're just going to be playing more along that informational line of having the Fenrir in order to, you know, deny sightlines from the attackers. They have the Malusi for the audio cue and also to allow a bit of like slow, and also it's a good shield counter. For if the enemy team decides to try and bring a Monty for the shield plant on, or the turtle plant, sorry, in the corner. And they also are bringing along the Mozzie for informational gain, mute for informational denial. It's a very informational lineup, and that's something to really consider when it comes down to the attacking side. Is there a true counter to that? Yes, we are bringing along the Dekebi. The IQ was something that they wanted to bring along, but instead, they are going to be bringing it. They wanted to switch onto the Twitch. They're bringing along the IQ instead. That's exactly what they should be doing. The side of Entropy has a good lineup for dealing with the utility that's being brought along by the defenders, alongside being able to cut off these flanks, rotations, play the vertical pressure. Look at the Ash, look at the Ram, look at the Gridlock. All 3 operators are very, very good on this map.
I mean, yeah, you see that gridlock will just look for those stairs to like kind of blank off to stop people from rotating up and down them to cause issues. Also give sound cues, and then of course them rams can be easily accessible from pretty much any window, door, skylight, or even when you do get directly in, they're very easy just to rip up that floor. And again, that Ash will just, you know, try and find soft walls to pierce and or situations to push off. Maybe a Banshee's in the way, and it will just push people out of the way of that utility. And I like that. Again, this Dokkaebi will be really good for when the Ram rips at the floor. That's going to be big information that they can use later on in the round, and that they will try and exploit as much as possible. The Mozzie looking to try and take out some drones. Does have a few captured by the looks of it as well, which is going to be good as well for those quick C4 throws. You can see the Mozzie has a C4 and the floor is soft as well. And we do start to see the attack just slowly pushing in through this top red area and looking to push in through the cigar as well.
Indeed, they are. They've got themselves in this position ready to sort of try and force the issue, and that is that's going to be a secondary shotgun kill specifically for the side of Entropy in order to start them out. And well, if there isn't a return for the defense very, very soon, we could be seeing a bit of a snowball from the attacking side here.
I feel like that's such a pre-fireable spot. You know people are going to play there, but Blacklist will find Lunar as well. And a 3v5 as Entropy start ripping up hatches from the piano side, and they still have 2 defenders to deal with upstairs, 1 on site. But with 5 players alive, this is going to be really, really useful because they can attack from more angles and kind of put a lot more pressure on these 2 upstairs. But it will be 1 in sight. There we go. We've opened it up. And now if Entropy won, they can plant, but they will get a flawless round anyway, and they clean up upstairs beautifully. Wow, what a push in from Entropy. Just no effort really to do anything there. They just got straight in. They are organized. They know how to deal with this setup. And I think a lot of teams will be, especially when it comes to the library side. We're looking at Fireplace and Reading once again. Okay, that's interesting.
I mean, yeah, it is interesting. And the thing that we now have to consider is what are they going to change going into here again? We're seeing the dock pickup. Once again, they're bringing along different sort of operators while sort of trying to remain the core. The core this time is going to be the Aruni, the Mute, and also the Fenrir. They're going to be deciding away from the Malusi in favor of a Bandit, and they're also going to be leaning away from the Mozzie for a different form of utility, which is going to be the dock. So something that is very interesting. You're going to have that dock on the first floor, more than likely, alongside the Mute. And you're going to probably have the rest of the lineup just kind of positioned around upstairs trying to take engagements. It looks like the doctors want to play around in train/mining. So that's something to really take into account as well.
Question is, will he stay there or will he just play aggressive? Maybe we'll go Wunder off like he did on Bank, which is the only thing that kind of like puts me in a bit of like is that dock there to hold something, or is he just going to run around the map and try and get as many kills? Which is still, it's impactful, but it does show that now Entropy might be adapted from map 1 to that, and you can see how the 2 maps kind of like kind of show across each other now. With, of course, 2 minutes and 30 on the clock, we will start to try and find the information as we send the drones down that red hatch as well. And hey, we have a massive drone economy. We have the IQ as well, which will find extra information, like where these bandits, Mute, and Fenrirs are as well, which will be useful. The Dokkaebi, call coming in, but it will be mad to go down from TQM, the dock off the board. What a surprise. It's another first pick onto Mad. Straight away from Bank.
Indeed. And now with that advantage in favor of, the advantage being just kind of stripped away, leads us to this position where we have this 4v4 equal man count. Fenrir knows the Ash is getting aggressive. He knows that he is going to be very close on this door and wants to try and take the gunfight as favorably as possible. Does have the shotgun in hand, but it's going to be a beautiful shot to shut down Bandit on the side of Cocktail.
Wow, what a shot. So preemptive and knew that there was a bandit there, so why not just have a go and actually get it off the board?
I apologize.
Oh, it's okay.
Wanted to...
1 minute 15 on the clock as now we will start to throw nades. Zach!
Oh my god! That's another
Zach's
injury.
going to get 2. Oh my god.
And now we're just seeing them try and shut down this Fenrir gadget, unable to find where it is. And that's going to be 2 shut down with 1 C4. That's the inch secured. They find 1 through the wall. With it being a 1 versus 2 situation, this becomes infinitely more winnable with every kill you get. You found 1. There's a second. And it is going to be a 1v1. You have the gadgets to be able to try and play on this vertical pressure. And you know where this person is based on the information you have. Are you going to take advantage?
That verticality, he needs to be at range to get the hits, because if that shotgun comes anywhere close, he's gone. If it tickles him, he's gone. Those
Factual.
pings are going to come in from whatever information's left on that site. He's trying his hardest. He's got to be careful. With 15 seconds left to descend down these white stairs, surely Uncert knows this is the play that he's going to go for. Here he is on the door. Uncert to finish. Whew.
Indeed it is, and he takes a hit, but he manages to get one in of his own, and with the HP deficit on the Ram, that is going to secure a very quick and easy kill.
As we do move our way through now, 2-1. LDL Valour, they are making sure that they are going back and forth with Entropy, and I like this. They are doing really well at kind of keeping well, it was a smart play, let's be honest. It was a very smart play, a great C4, a nice down as well to finish off, and they baited the pickup. That was great stuff. Going upstairs again, top floor, it could be interesting to see how Entropy deal with it again. But we do have that Frost being brought into play as well with the shield. We have, of course, the mute jammers, which will be, again, utilized mainly for walls as well to deny anything from the long range for them, those aces, but they can be utilized to kind of deteriorate that drone economy if needed as well. And we do have Zach bringing in the castle barricade from the first round. They're going to be utilized on the outside windows as well. Are they going to put it on the cigar door again? Yep, they will. So they'll block that one off. Do you like the cigar castle? Do you think it's beneficial, or do you prefer the Aruni gate there?
When it comes down to that play, I do prefer the Aruni, but I mean, that's just based on strats that I build myself. When it comes down to the castle being there, I can see how it can be favorable because you're sacrificing that area of the map, yes, but you're also choosing to not play there. And that means you're forcing them, if they want to take into piano and they want to get a clear through that side, they have to open up those red walls. They have to open up this castle barricade. They have to take the engagement with this army. And if they don't do any of those things, then they're left just kind of trying to filter in through that sort of far side. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So the defenders get to keep these sort of longer angles. Zero being brought along, once again, an operator that I spoke about earlier on, is going to be one of those operators that has quite a large effect on a map like this, where it's a little bit more open. It's a little bit more free for information to just flow for both sides.
It's like an attacking Valkyrie with more cams and more versatility, really. And that's
Exactly.
why I like it as well. It is a good pick. You also see that castle barricade is actually prepped, so it could be used as an aggressive play. But yeah, we're going to start sending drones in now through the mining side, just trying to determine if anyone is playing below 4 C4s or anything like that. Which they are all bunkered in onto that site. They're making sure they hold the standard hold, as Ace will now make sure he opens up that red wall as standard as well. But now we have to deal with the Azami there, and the mute jammers are going to deny some drone intel as well. So we might see the drone economy struggle just a little bit getting information from this point, especially from that hatch, and we'll determine if we can get rid of that Azami quickly. They do have nades to cook that Azami, though, which will hopefully be utilized from the gridlock. We'll see. The gridlock is on the roof. Might be able to go onto one of the windows and cook one. You don't know. But hey, it's Twitch as well, just trying to put some behind pressure on. We'll see if he does get the gunfight, but there's a lot of angles onto this one window, which could be dangerous for him.
Indeed, there is. He's trying to deal with the keeper barricade, though, and that's going to be that gone. Now there's going to be a slight angle for Zero if he chooses to try and take it on towards this Azami's position. She is kind of holding it at the moment to try and see if she can find anything, gets herself out of that area as quickly as possible, because, you know, you don't want to linger, really. C4 in hand for the mute, and if he chooses to, there it goes! C4 gets detonated. It is one kill, but the Zofia going to live until she eventually loses her head. One more player still around, very close. The new gun, or I said the new gun, Zero's gun that you don't see often enough because a lot of people like the MP7, is going to be there to secure that kill. 15 seconds left on the clock as they want to try and get a bit aggressive with these engagements. There's a 1v3, one pick's been found. There is a man behind the bar, doesn't quite know of his location, but they know his as the information's there. They find him on the opposite side, and that is going to be a round for LDL.
Nice from LDL. Very persistent on that defense. And the swing from the Frost is crazy. Frost, I thought, was backed in a corner. Couldn't move. I thought might have got stunned But no, we'll get a nice pick there. And the C4 as well to kind of complement it before that pick just makes the man advantage a little bit better. Zero will do a great individual play to get rid of that Frost, but it's kind of left in a bad situation. Yes, we do have a 1v1 player down. The Warden's just on the floor, been knocked. But hey, it's great from the defense. They have managed to get that individual final kill, and they've got themselves another round. 3-1. We start to see the game kind of repeat itself in a way. LDL Valour kind of starting off strong in their first set of rounds. Will Entropy be able to recover now before we get later on into this half? We don't want to see this 4-1 come into play. We want to see a nice 3-3 split, but we'll see. Entropy still have a lot to do on this attack, and we will see that they are going to the kitchen site. We have the Azami, the Frost, the Goyo, Bandit, and Echo on the board. The Echo drones will be interesting down here just because there are long hallways, long lines of sight, and they can be used to gain that information freely. However, will it be impactful? Will it be the best operator to use? They haven't swapped anything to deal with. They don't have like a Twitch or anything on the board, but they are going to go for verticality by the looks of it. And they have the Jackal if anyone is playing off site, trying to hold up top, which they most likely will. Are they going to pop patches? I'm not too sure. No, they're going to reinforce it. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like they are choosing to reinforce it. And I don't know. It seems a bit odd that you send your 1 speed upstairs to go do that when you very well could have just sent, I don't know, Bandit, who is a 3 speed. There is a bit of aggression going towards the first floor area from that Bandit in question, as he does want to try and position himself over on the red side, just potentially to see if he can catch anyone out if they're going for this sort of clear. And there is going to be a man on red stairs that he could potentially deal with. And there it is. The drone isn't there in time. It checks down the stairs first, and that is a mistake. Gridlock takes a bit of damage through the angle up the hatch, and I think this is where things get a little more questionable for this attacking side, because you've already been punished. They're still wanting to play aggressive, but they've fallen off enough to the point where they are keeping themselves safe.
And yeah, I mean, the thing with this strat as well, defensively, like, look how much they have downstairs as well. They have these shields looking onto the main breach. Like, wow, the Echo has so much, like, control there unless they deal with it. And even if they do want to open that breach, they still have to take the Echo off the board. And Echo can just run away then. They have to get a nice pinch from that pillar side as well. They could use the double window down bottom to look onto the Christmas trees. However, we are going to start to see the Rams rip up the floor, which might put a bit more pressure in sight. But again, everyone's around that site. They can move. Will it create some space in sight from that hatch? Maybe, but they've got to find a way down there. And the staircases are the main point in this kitchen site. That's the place you go down first.
Indeed, and this Dekebi is very close to the Frost's location, and it is going to be her to lose her life. Frost going to be there, ready to take it. And with Ace getting aggressive on the white door as well, he is in the range to get a second pick. There is going to be a trade from Zach and Rise, but realistically worthwhile for the defenders, as they have managed to secure themselves a 2-man advantage still remaining in this position. Now a 4v2, 2 players to deal with each single attacker.
Yeah, with 30 seconds on the clock, going to see, can Entropy do anything here? That shield is really teasing, but it will be Blacklist to find one. Down goes the Frost, anchoring off that Christmas side. We still have one more, though, to deal with, but it will be Luna to take down Blacklist from the flank up top. Can we find the Goyo? It won't happen. The flame's in the way. The shot's coming off. Can't finish. Runs away. Somehow is still alive and will be finished by Luna. And that will be the round. Once again, defensively, LDL Valour are really showing us what they can do on Cafe Dostoevsky. And hey, just it feels like Entropy just couldn't get rid of anything. The shield, the player behind the shield, it took too long for that. The Goyo Flames, I really feel like they needed something more there. We didn't have anything to really open the hatch. But obviously, we did have the Ace, yeah, sure. But like, it's just a bit of a waste then. I think we need something that's quick. A striker could be nice. You know, anything else. I just feel like it was a bit of a waste. Also, I don't know. How can Entropy get in? That's the question. How can they stop these holds? They could just change whole lineup and go for a different attack. But this backside's really important because all the players are kind of playing outside of sight. And so if you do go for the site, they'll just go in the other way and just hold you from far away. So, hey, we're going to go to the middle floor now. Got the Legion on the board. We've got a Pulse. Interesting for a Pulse. They like their C4 plays. Maybe they're going to play into one of their strengths. LDL Valour got a nice double C4 kill. Maybe they want to play more into that. We have 3 other C4s on the board, which that Pulse can work with. And we have, of course, that Mute on the board as well to deny anyone that information as much as we can. So I like the composition defensively. We'll see how that goes. The attack, bring in the Brava, though, to try and deal with as much electricals as possible. Some of those cams will be really useful. And instead of shooting them, why not just steal them? Hell yeah.
Yeah, indeed. I think there's 2 options here for the side of Entropy, and I think that's something they're realizing. They're only really playing into the one, and that is the fact that you kind of have the option to either play into the utility that's being brought along, for example, bringing along that Brava, Flores, in order to try and clear out utility alongside, you know, create openings for you to have information of your own. But I think there's also that method of just kind of ignoring the utility. Like, what need is there to go for piano here if you want to play vertical pressure and bar? You can force this Azami to leave her utility if you just play somewhere else.
Yeah, and you see they are slowly just trying to push through the cigar side. They're setting up those gridlocks on the flank as well. And, oh, get shot through the wall. Oh, my God. I guess he just a random shot there and managed to get successful. Flash is coming off, though, but it will be a refrag. And it will be Rise to get rid of HRV. Let's go. 3v4. Make it a 2v4 as Blacklist is just going to shred mad. Oh, my. Yeah, you can see. If he just shoots his gun, he'll get... Are they both just...
They both just ignored each other. Yeah, I don't quite understand. But kill was secured on the side of the attack. It's now a 1 versus 4 for Zakaria. Is he going to be able to make it for himself? C4 goes out, isn't able to find what he's looking for, gets himself into a bit of a safer position inside a cocktail, but gets caught from the white stairs. And that is going to be a round finally for Entropy, securing at least 2 rounds on their attacking half.
This is good for Entropy because they need that 4-2 split. This will give them a bit more confidence, a little bit more security. They don't have to chase 4 more rounds, you know what I mean? Instead of it being a 5-1. It's a little bit better for them. It's not the best they could have had, especially for an attacking favorable team like Entropy. They do play attack really well. However, we might see a better defensive half. If not, hey, we might be seeing another map. You never know. So yeah, we're going to start to see the composition being brought out. Bar and Cocktail is where we're going to go. And Goyo, Vigil, we've got a bit of a Malusi there for the Banshees. We've got a shield being brought from the Frost. The dock coming out. Entropy seem to want to run that dock as well. There's barbed wire there. That's quite useful in some situations. And also, we do have on the attack the Flores, which will be utilized. Looking to possibly try and counter that Azami as a preemptive pick, but it doesn't look like they are going to, of course, run that. And we will see the Lion being brought instead. Interesting. Okay. A Lion? Striker I like. Striker's not too bad.
Yeah, I think on the side of LDL, this is going to be pretty aggressive. I don't think it's particularly going to be a rush, but I can imagine that with the Lion being on side, he's probably there more as a supporting operator towards the sort of executional period of the round. And the Kebi is also there for that same purpose. Like, I think they know, I don't think they know, but I think they're kind of aware that there's probably going to be a Vigil on side for the defense. And they're going to be just trying to lean into that of bringing along that Dekebi, bringing along the Lion to force gadget wastage, and then being able to pick him off through those means. They are going to use that Flores to deal with the barbed wire and the frost mat that is just going to be underneath that skylight. So alongside opening up that bar, they've achieved a few other bits of utility to clear out with it. So probably not too worried.
Unable to get that shield, though, unfortunately. You're going to have to use another Flores drone. However, in your ideal situation, you can use those Dokubis to kind of like find someone, and then you can use those Lion scans to kind of like isolate them, and then those nades to possibly push people back. And that's what I like about bringing both of them. a lot of people don't like to use both of their gadgets at the same time because it's a waste, but sometimes you can get really beneficial from it. However, we do now start to see Zach trying to make himself a play. We can't. Blacklist gonna take down Zach. He gets first pick so much. He's always in a nice position to do something. It's unfortunate he just gets taken out a lot first. But it will be mad to take Blacklist off the board, make it a 4v4, and that will be the doc out of play. But I mean, they got rid of the Dokkaebi once it had used all the phone calls. So I don't think that's an issue now. They've used the utility. It's not a waste. It's still an operator down, but it's not a complete waste.
Indeed, it's not. But there is going to be a player retaking the doc's position, which is going to be Rixie on that Vigil. And I think this is something that a lot of people don't quite really consider when it comes down to playing that Vigil. And that is the fact that Vigil on site is a very powerful operator. You can play Vigil conservatively. This Frost is stuck between a rock and a hard place right now. There is some assistance from below in order to deny the striker from really truly being able to push him out, but they know his location. They know exactly what he's doing. They catch him. That's going to be a 3v3 now.
And his line scan just stops him from moving. Honestly, the chances of him just swinging and getting someone might have happened there, but hey, it's fine. With 20 seconds pretty much on this clock, by the time they wants to send, Rise will take down. Man, he'll get a second. Can we see another pick here? Goyo to go down. Can't finish. Insert 10 seconds on the clock. 2 picks to get. Slowly pushing through that bar. We'll find close. Can he finish? Oh my god, Unsert with the incredible clutch. Oh my god.
What a play.
Insane. I'm speechless. How has he managed to do that? That's incredible. They really just played aggressive there with 10 seconds. Not even 10 seconds there. He had no chance of doing anything. I don't think we had to swing off stack, off of white side. You know, the Goyo's gone down. He's in the freezer. That's fine. But then you see Unsert just creeping around that bar. And yes, he's going to find your head. You're playing aggressive. As like, what? Melusa, you're playing really aggressive. And then there's that Vigil to just swing out. And I just think the Vids just need to take that one-on-one fight and hope for the best. We didn't need both to be playing aggressive there.
Oh my god.
Come on, that's an easy round.
It definitely should have been, but instead of just like holding those positions, keeping themselves, like having that discipline to just stop and breathe after finding those first 2 kills, they just didn't. And instead they got caught for it. They got punished. They got bent over and spanked. That was what happened.
Pretty much.
And you can't make mistakes like that. You lost because you decided to not stand still. You could have just played really conservatively, had one player do these sort of safety peaks, bait attention, then have a player on the opposite side try and do the same while playing a life of your third. And that would have been a really easy secured round. But instead, you decided to get aggressive because you guys got greedy. That is your own fault that you lost that round. And I think Entropy need to understand that.
I mean, they could have all jumped out of the top floor window and they still wouldn't have won that round. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't need to peek. But anyway, let's move on to maybe a prettier round, maybe something that might make me smile. Oh, Zach will get a nice opening pick. It will be Vasi to go down. Sorry, Rise to go down. Sorry. And anyway, that's an early pick. He was trying to play aggressive on the hatch to try and get something there. Unfortunately, he didn't. The Dokkaebi would have been a nice little pick, especially with those phone calls still in pocket. The Flores is just going to be tearing up utility now.
Yeah, they're getting so much with this Flores.
Yeah. I mean, it's very close together. It's very, very close together. So that one drone has got, what, 3 pieces of utility there? That's crazy.
Yeah, it got a Melusi gadget. It got the Goyo canister. It got the barbed wire. It opened up the bar. It's just, they're doing so much with this this utility that Flores brings that realistically isn't something that they should be allowing to happen.
I mean, hey, we're going to see a nice pick back now, and Cert going to go down. I don't know if he got anything open. I'm guessing he just got the standard stuff.
Bit of a stem waste there. Oh, vibrating Dokkaebi tablet. We love that.
Ooh, that's boogie. With 1 minute 20 on the clock, we're looking to try and find anyone down below. There is actually someone playing down below. However, at the minute, we are slowly pushing this piano side and slowly trying to find our picks. Oh, he's gone back up the stairs.
Yeah,
They've got a lot of time. Got a lot of time to do stuff.
There's a lot of pressure though on this cigar side, and I think this is the mistake you're making. You need, how do I word this? There is split theory in general, where you play around this notion that you need 2 of 4 avenues on towards the site. You need more than just one. You need more than just control of one side of the map. You need to try and control the heaven balcony. You need to try and control cigar. You've got the guy dropping in the skylight now after like the nades push the first player out of position. The trades are coming in. They try and take the swing, but they get caught by the crossfire, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's so good from LDL.
Wow. It's incredible. They've like managed to just play that beautiful sky drops gunfight. Yes, he's been refragged, but they're just flooded in. Oh my god.
But where have we seen this before?
Yeah. Well, we can't say anything, can we? At the minute, it's like we've seen it round 1. We've seen what 3 overtimes in round 1 from just these 2 teams.
Yeah,
Like that's incredible. We've seen it in round 2. We saw it in Bank last game, round 2. It's gonna be more than this, surely. Even if they get 2 to 3 more rounds, Entropy surely can't be dropping anything else. They have got to lock in now. They really do. However, we are bringing ourselves a Cade downstairs, and we're also going to see a Mute come onto the board with a Fenrir and a Goyo. A little bit different to possibly LDL's strategy, where they kind of hold that that Christmas tree area with a shield or with an information operator such as the Echo. But they do have information in that setup. They have those Fenrirs which can do similar things. Depends where they're going to play it. They've also reinforced off the red wall as well on the one side, which is a little bit different to maybe what LDL Valour did as well. So they're playing a little bit of a different setup onto site, and they're mainly relying on possibly that Cade to keep that wall closed for a little bit longer and to try and play gunfights around that wall. Again, closing both units off. So it is free real estate once they get rid of that Cade and once they clear that top floor as well of any roaming potential.
Something I really don't like about Entropy at the moment is this setup, and that is simply because they didn't bring along the castle. They've set up entirely around the core hold of how you would play a castle on this bottom floor, but they're not utilizing the castle at all. They're not even utilizing an Azami as a substitute. So I think like if this is spotted by the attackers, it could be a problem for the defense. But instead, we're seeing an almost 3K. Look at the health on Luna as he jumps out the window, finds 2, gets back in, and nearly finds Luna with that with the oh my god, help with the bailiff. Jesus Christ.
To be fair,
I play this game, by the way. I play this game. Somehow, I'm forgetting everything.
You know what? It's okay. We all have those days. Anyway, I just wanted to point out LDL are normally really good at watching runouts. I don't know what happens, but they just completely forgot about it. It just shows how you can play aggressive and get rewarded, because they're not expecting you to play aggressive. They are the aggressive. They are the aggressors, and it just happens to be a really good pick there. A nice little exchange rate, 2-1. 2-1 and nearly another. So you nearly got the third. That's really good going into that final round of execute. We know now LDL are not going to be confident when they go and open up them walls that they need. They'll probably lose a couple of gunfights around the bomb site now. We'll see. They've got a minute left. That's plenty of time to do something. What will happen?
Oh my god, I thought Doc was about to lose his life. I was holding my breath, and it didn't play into Ash's hands because Ash wasn't watching closely enough. He sees the ace outside of the bakery door. That's going to be the diffuser dropped, and now with it being a 3v2 in favor of the defense, it is going to be a bit of a rough situation, but the one taps are so close. He manages to nearly find it, as well gets himself shut down by the Cade on the swing.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think Entropy have done well, very well there. Nice long angle too. They utilized that pick. I think won them that round. Personally, I don't know if that was a good team play or if it was just a really good individual play. Yes, we could have seen a pick come from the Ash up top onto the dock. We did see instead the Ace get taken down, and essentially that whole attack fell apart. We could see that they were kind of struggling to find what they wanted to do. They didn't have much direction in their attack, which is an essential part of an attack to find that direction. And in this way, Entropy's defense, their little bunker strategy without the castle did work, but will it work a second time? Or will it work on a different bomb site? Will they still be able to get lucky? Will they pick up their momentum? That's a big question. Or was this just a one-off round that LDL Valour didn't expect?
Yeah, it's a really rough situation for the side of LDL because they really should have been able to win that round, but instead it was just a bit of a fold. But with the way the bottom floor is for attackers anyway, I realistically imagine that if LDL are going to win another round, it'll be on one of these sides. I don't think they're very disheartened by losing a attacking round on the kitchen site.
Yeah, no, I mean, look how many rounds they've got to play with as well. They can afford to possibly lose one more time before Entropy gain their momentum, I'd say. And again, even if they do take this map, they're going to take this map most likely. I reckon they will. I don't think Entropy have got it in them to take any more rounds back, especially after the last few rounds that I've seen. However, it's still early on. LDL Valour can become overly aggressive and they can drop rounds. As we do now see the Sledge on the board, which is an interesting pick as well. We've got the Nook in play as well. Okay. Hey, just a bit something different. They do bring nades. That could be an essential part. They do also bring verticality, and they can decide where they want to do it. It might be slower than the Ram, but it could be more tactical.
Yeah, definitely. So I think when it comes down to the Sledge, with his recent buff of becoming a 2-speed, it adds a bit of versatility to him, but I still think he's a little worse than operators such as Ram, such as the Buck, because really Sledge is the only one that has absolutely no safety while doing the breaching.
Sledging.
Yeah, like the vertical sledging. Because Buck can do it from a floor above where he's actually bucking, and Ram can stand away from the stuff. But here we go, as gunfight's going down. I think this is where you take over, my friend.
Zach will find 2. Rixie gonna go down. It will be Unsert to take Blacklist off the board. A 3 versus 2 vertical is in play. We're gonna see a lot of HP come off of that Ash though. Essentially a 2v2 unless Ash can be in a good position to get a surprise attack on that Entropy defense. With 1 minute on the clock, we're going to find a lot of drones trying to find information, and that's what Entropy are just going to kind of counteract here by dropping off to see if they can move away from those drones and possibly play verticality with a C4 if they can. We do have more information to play with. There's no more Dokkaebi calls for execute onto site, but with 45 seconds left and playing on these staircases, oh, it's going to be droned out. There is one literally mining the C4!
Oh my god.
Affler! Oh my god, but we will see now, everyone on the same floor, no one playing verticality advantage here, but it will be Zach to go down the defense, gonna shoot him down. Unsert trying to deal with a Cade, but he will go and try and rescue his teammate. If he does, the wall is soft. They're not gonna know though, they've got no information there. He's gonna try and preempt it, but hey, it's an off angle that he might be able to get. Oh my god, he just shot around his feet. 10 seconds left. The defense just needs to hold. It will be 1 for TQM. And Zach goes down. A 1v2 with 4 seconds left. Unsert needs to try and get himself a kill. He won't. And Affler cleans up. Unsert has gone dead on the floor.
Indeed. And that's where things get a little scary, because it's like we're seeing Entropy come back again. We had 6-2 in the previous map, and Entropy were good for 4. To bring it all the way back to go to overtime and then win 8-6. If we see this again, I might be willing to never cast an Entropy game again.
I might have just accidentally, jinxed it. Like, I might have generally said the wrong thing. I might have just said, you know, I don't think Entropy are playing well. I don't think they'll get it. But you know what? Hey, LDL still have essentially a round left to make it happen, to kind of get them before they go to that OT. Entropy's still got a lot of pressure on them to not miss out on key defensive opportunities, but I think they played it out very well. And that Cade on White, even though he got droned out, he had a great hold on the player trying to rotate through mining, and he just shut him down. Absolutely insane. And as well, just holding up that library side as well. They tried to open up the library wall. They tried with those aces late round. That was their final end goal. It just wasn't executed properly. It wasn't a good decision because of how much time they had left. They could have possibly opened that a little bit earlier, but I think they weren't expecting it to be jammed. Hey, it happens as well. I don't think they were coordinating as well when it came to that final execute. We saw one try and take a gunfight while the other one was trying to open up that wall. Instead, they could have possibly have kind of tried to play as a two and tried to swing together to take that mute out. But hey, they chose something else. Now it's 6-4, 3 minutes on this clock. Let's see how this round goes.
I know with it being 6-4 right now and with it going 6-2 earlier on, it could look like LDL are just overperforming to an extent and then underperforming when it really counts. But I think something truly interesting to consider is the fact that I don't think this game has been truly one-sided. Like, I understand that we've gone 6-2. I understand that that happened in the previous map. But with how it went in the previous map and with how it's going right now, look at the scores on each of these players. Look at the kills. Look at the deaths. Like, everybody in this game is so consistently even that really there's no true advantage. Your highest kill player, right, is 10 kills. Right behind him right now, there is 4 players in the game with 9 kills.
Yeah. It is okay. I get it. I think it is fairly a lot more even than we're seeing. But yeah, as we now drop in 1 minute 40, a lot of damage come onto Zach, and he's used all of his Dokkaebi calls up. They're in Cigar. They're kind of looking to see what they can do here. They're trying to use as much information as possible. We still have people on hatches looking to possibly open up these bathroom walls as well. Remember, this is a top floor attack. We do have Affler below. No C4, of course, has an impact possibly, but it's, oh my god!
Oh my god.
As I call it, oh my god, and Cert and Zach gonna go down. The information on that was crazy. Affler gonna take some damage from below. They know someone's down there, and now Lion is gonna come to confront him as Affler will now rotate up White into safety. Or maybe not. Maybe gonna just sit it down below.
Indeed, and well, there is going to be a little bit of pressure applied over towards the cocktail side, and with so many defenders being alive right now, I love that, by the way. That's just your boy Roy Strat to look at the ceiling. It does nothing, but it's funny. Either way, we're looking at the moment at a team that is just being absolutely diminished by this defensive side, and look how well the defense is playing. You know the complaints I had about LDL getting too aggressive? What are they doing on Entropy right now? They are preserving lives, they are sitting in power positions, and they're not over peaking. This is what we wanted to see from LDL on their defense.
Honestly, it's in my notes, overly aggressive, and I'm circling it constantly with 15 seconds left on the door.
Oh my god!
Ooh, 2v5. They ain't going to find anything here as Blacklist and TQM finishing up with a flawless round. What? Entropy are coming back. I think I've jinxed them. Oh my god, they're coming back. Round 12. We're now moving into something that could be an incredible OT game. It's literally just one more round of match point here before we go to overtime.
Yeah, it's a little bit insane that this is what we're seeing right now. Entropy coming back from 6-2, 2 maps in a row, might be one of the most insane things I've seen in ESA, like, ever.
You just wouldn't think it, though, would you? You think, okay, they can do it once, but they're not going to do it twice, surely. Like, that's my mindset here. But Entropy just seem to, like, lose on the state. They're always bad at starting off a map. And I've always noticed this throughout casting Entropy. They're always bad at opening up a map. But for some reason, they just do better the more they win. The more they win rounds, the more they get like these streaks. So they just do well, like, later on in the game. And I guess, I don't know, I call it momentum, but they are just generally adapting to the game. And it seems that LDL always run out of steam later in the game. I think LDL still have something to contend with here. They can definitely change what's happening. They have one more round to essentially dominate their attack. But I think Entropy are kind of in a position that they are saying, no, we are going to take this next round. And if they do, it's going to be, like you say, a massive, massive thing in ESA here. I haven't seen this in a while. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I think something to consider there is Capcan was seen by a drone. I don't know if that was entirely noticed, but they know about the Capcan traps on the white corridor. So if somebody dies to them now, that is a huge misplay.
I mean, if they do decide to call them Capcans out and they do miss it, it will be under pressure, I think, when they come to that final execute. But again,
the drone watched him place them.
Yeah, yeah, like you say, it depends. Will they remember that? They don't have any utility to essentially get it straight away, so they might forget. And that's the glory of Capcan sometimes. Oh, okay, they pinged it now. Yeah, they should be able to.
If they lose someone to those, I will freak.
Yeah, I can't wait. Please, someone die to the Capcan so we see you freak.
If anybody's dumb enough.
Damn, you're testing their intelligence here.
Okay, thank God.
Oh, there they go. There's free gone. Okay, nice.
All right.
With 2 minutes on the clock and their intelligence tested, let's see how this attack commences against Entropy's Fortress, their wall of thunder. Let's see as we now start to push down to this pillar side, trying to find if anyone is still off site playing above. But we are finding utility as we do so. Checking this Christmas mark, but they are again have got this wall kind of bunkered like we have seen before. One of them playing behind the bar will rotate back to site. We'll find a nice drone. With 1 minute 30, there's plenty of stuff to do. Let's see how this changes.
Indeed, Roy's just going to be trying to look up through those vertical angles right now, see if he can spot anyone out for a bit of an early pickup. But with Dekebi taking a bit of damage and not really losing her life in the meantime, that is going to mean that she gets to continue playing out this round. They're just opening the hatch up with the ace right now. They know that it's electrified, so they know they're gonna have to do the little funny trick, which is exactly what they've done to get it open in the first place. Fenrir is still lingering around inside of the coat check, and I really don't know how they're gonna clear him out with the pressure that he's applying to them right now. They have to try and get this split push on the go, but there's too many long angles from the opposite side.
I feel like LDL do too much waiting sometimes, and that's possibly what loses them out on rounds. And now we're going to see those Fenrirs coming into play, as now he's going to have to run away. He's going to take some more damage, and then when he comes back again, he's either going to die or luckily get that kill. But we'll see, as they've got to try and pinch him out here. Do they have nades to do so? That's the question. Lunar will find Blacklist, an incredible peek out, but it will be Rise to take down HC, and Uncertain. Oh my God, Luna to get TQM, the flood. Luna to finish off.
LDL
Nice,
take it.
Great attack. Hell yeah.
That's 7-5 LDL for map number 2. And that means we're going to the decider of Nighthaven, my friend.
Let's go. This is the map I want to see, though. It's the map I want to see, Nighthaven. Cafe is a great map, and I like casting it, but Nighthaven should be where it gets more interesting. Like, you see two intelligent teams go on a map that's really competitive, and I can't wait to see that. So, hell yeah, bring on Nighthaven Labs, one apiece, LDL and Entropy giving us a really great matchup today. Probably one of the best you'll see in this round, possibly. Hell yeah. I think we'll go on to ad break in just a moment, but have you got anything else to add before we go?
Absolutely not. LDL need to stop selling. Is what it is.
I mean, yeah, you're completely right. Late rounds, late parts in the game, it does look dire for them sometimes, and they need to kind of they need to fix it, because this next map could be really, really ruthless for them. Entropy still have a chance to win this map pool out. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll be back with you after the break. Okay, let's move on to Nighthaven Labs, map 3. LDL Valour doing a double defense and Entropy on the double attack. Now, statistically, Entropy should like the attack, but according to this matchup, it might not play out that way, especially since the first set of rounds have really been in favor of LDL Valour for each of the maps. Will we see a trend in the rounds, or will it change? That's the question. But first, we have the map bans.
Indeed, we do, and it's starting off with the blitz. Realistically, you want to try and get shields out of the way. This one's just going to be a Blackbeard. The reason why is because the rafters, with the window being where it is, it's super easy to control if you just have a shield.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of teams either put lots of utility there.
Okay, Blackbeard's
and it just gets
getting
cleared,
played
right?
for top floor. It's 100% Blackbeard's getting
Ooh.
played for top floor. Like you can't leave them open and not expect the rafters pressure to just be like insane. It's going to be Buck and Blackbeard like all day. On the defensive side, more than likely, we're going to see an Azami. Azami is very much a big deal on this map and will be very high point of contention. Tubral gets taken off the
Ooh.
board. That's another good one, especially for Breach. But I still stick by Azami. And if they ban the Valk again, I will be fuming.
Please be mad. Please be mad. Please be mad. I mean, the Sprero is... I like that ban as well. I do agree. I liked it when it was on Oregon as a ban.
Tubby's
like
a great
it here.
ban, yeah. Oh
Yeah,
my god!
Make you mad. They did it on purpose.
Oh no! We banned info instead of banning a good operator. Valk's good, don't get me wrong. Valk is one of the big five for the defense. The problem is Valk doesn't have nearly as much presence on a map like Cafe, on a map like Nighthaven, than Azami does. Azami is infinitely more powerful on these maps than
I mean, yeah.
Valkyrie is.
Again, like every map that we've seen here, Azami has been a credible source. It has been good. It has made plays. You would think that they would get rid of it, but at the same time,
I know the reason why they haven't gotten rid of it.
Well, they want to use it.
Yeah,
but
that's the only reason why. The reason why they haven't gotten rid of it is because they can't feasibly structure their strat without it. Like both teams know they need the Azami in order to play, and because of that, it's led them into this position where they can't play it. They can't ban it against teams that play it very, very effectively or very, very often. So they're screwing themselves.
Yeah. Okay, so we will be most likely going up to the top floor.
Yeah.
Is there any strategy that you think works? For example, like the split play, is that a guarantee? Or are they gonna utilize rafters as well?
Okay,
like,
let me tell you.
Ideal attack is?
Let me tell you exactly how this round's gonna go. Thermite and Ace are only there to open the breaches, and then they're gonna play they're gonna play the silly little gunfight. The only reason they're bringing Thermite and Ace is because they don't know if the enemy team's gonna be tricking. They are.
Okay.
We're aware as casters that they're not bringing along a bandit. They're not bringing along a Cade. They've got a mute. So realistically, the extra hard breach is kind of just useless. Like Ace is just an extra extra man that they're kind of dragging along with them at this point because he's just useless. On the other hand, they're going to open these two breaches, and Blackbeard's going to open the rafters window. The keeper barricade's going to be in the way because you put it on the pillar in order to block the window and be able to shoot the legs. He's going to then throw a nade in that bounces off the wall, destroys the keeper barricade. Another one's going to be placed. He's going to throw a second nade. Azami's not going to have enough keepers to be able to replace the third one, and he's just going to jump in the window and she's dead. That's it. You get a free pick on rafters. They potentially leave early if they're smart and reinforce off the rotate hole that's going to be on top rafters. If they do that, they get caught from breach because breach is already bloody open, right? You just end up in this position where because you haven't banned Azami or because you haven't banned Blackbeard, you're screwed. The defense cannot hold rafters, and you are playing the Azami to hold rafters. Because you haven't banned the Azami, that means they know there's going to be a player on rafters. And because you haven't banned the Blackbeard, that means the guy on rafters is going to get his ass ate. So you're just kind of like, what do you do now?
Wow, that is analysis, bro. That is analysis. What the hell, bro? That is insane, bro.
It's just how it goes, like every day of the week on this top floor.
You can tell you have watched that happen so many times.
I experienced it earlier today. I was playing ranked
Oh,
with
okay.
people. I was like, ban the bloody Azami, and we didn't. I was like, okay, no, I said ban the Blackbeard, and we didn't. I was like, ban the Azami then, and we didn't. And then I got bummed on rafters because they made me play the Azami.
Okay.
It's exactly what happens every time.
Well, while we wait for this player to join back, I've got a bit of an intellectual question for you. And since you're very good at analyzing situations, implementing in our next season, Season X, of Siege, they're going to have the free-player ban thing come into play. Now, we might as well mention it. How do you think a map like this will be affected by free bans coming into play?
Well, Blackbeard and his army are going to 100% be banned every time. I think having the extra ban, a lot of people. I think it only really favors like the higher ranks. I'm going to be completely honest. Like when it comes down to ranked, if they are bringing 3 bans into ranked, it only really favors the higher ranks because I think a lot of people are going to be just throwing out like useless bans, things like Cav, things like Clash, etc., etc. You know what I mean? Like the default sort of like silvery bands, like your Jackal and your Thatcher, like all the time because that's just what you default to. The extra ban in those ranks is likely going to be like on the attack, you might get a Deimos, you might get a shield. But I think on defense, it's just going to be one of those where you take out the thing you're not comfortable with fighting. So maybe like a Tricker or like some sort of heavy sort of aggression operator. Like I've seen a lot of Vigil in lower ranks recently. But then when you go up into like the higher ranks, this is where it really gets favored because you're gonna have things like you're gonna have triple bans that are like Monty Blackbeard Blitz on attack. Like you're just gonna ban out all shields. Fuck them, get them gone. You know what I mean? And then then on the defense, you're gonna have a similar thing again where you take out like the default. Like let's say Oregon, for example. You take off the mirror, which is exactly what you're gonna want anyway, right? And then the default sort of second ban on Oregon defense is usually something along the lines of I don't know, the Clash, like things that are a bit more oppressive, maybe like a Cade, but then you have this opportunity to be able to not choose. You have an opportunity to have that extra ban remaining. So more than likely, we're going to be seeing a lot of combinations sort of completely go out the window, and instead you're just gonna try and use all 3 of your like bans to deny a certain style of play.
So we spoke about off stream. We spoke about the progressive banning phases. So obviously, it will be what the standard 2 bans, and then like through 3 rounds. Would it be a ban each round?
So
like
at the start of each round, so like before round 1, you'll do 1 ban, and I think it will go as follows. Like for example, if we look at LDL and Entropy here, LDL is on the defense, Entropy is on the attack. So it'd be like LDL ban the first attacker, and Entropy would ban the first defender, and that'd be like before round 1. And then we'd play round 1, we'd go into round 2, and then it'd switch. So it'd be like, okay, now it's LDL's turn to ban a defender, and now it's Entropy's turn to ban an attacker, and then it'd switch again for round 3.
I mean, I think it could be interesting to see him in a pro setting. Obviously, it looks like we are going to be getting a rehost again. Okay. But yeah, I think it'll be very good in a pro setting. I don't know how teams will feel about it, but I think they will definitely incorporate. What we're going to do though is we're going to go on to ad break just to quickly deal with this rehost. Unfortunately, you know, the Ubisoft is sucking and people can't get into games. So we might have a little bit of an extended break, but it's okay. Stay tuned. We have a very important map to see. Nighthaven Labs. I can't wait. I really want to see this map go through LDL Valour versus Entropy. Stay tuned. We'll be back after the break. All right, so welcome back. Sorry for the long rehost. Unfortunately, you know, the games are just a little bit buggy, but it's fine. LDL Valour versus Entropy Gaming. You haven't missed anything. If you're just joining us, welcome. And of course, we do have on the board the bans, which we spoke about before, but we'll just quickly refresh your memory. It is the Blitz, the Valkyrie, the Sombrero, and the Demos, which will be the bans here on the board. However, we do have the Azami in play. We have a Mirror being brought as well. And of course, we do have a Blackbeard on the attacking side, which, as we have said before, should be a very good piece of utility to push out big spots like these Raptors. Will they be adapt to dealing with it? That's the question.
Like, predicting these two operators specifically being in play, like, really genuinely pains me. Because I know exactly how this is going to go. And it really hurts. Because I don't want it to go the way it's going to. There's the Flores. Flores going to be dealing with the utility that's denying the window. Blackbeard's now making his way up the stairs, getting himself into position to be able to jump in the window and deal with his army. And then they have free Rafters control. That is pretty much how you play this site when both of these operators are available or one of these operators is available.
Well, lucky for the defense, they have cleared that Blackbeard off, although he did get an early pick. And like you said, he jumped in, he finished it off. And now it's a 4v4 situation with 2 minutes on the clock. Yes, we have got access to the walls and we have free hard breach potential. But there we go. A nice swing out from the Mirror to shut down the Flores. I don't know how many drones he still had in his pocket, but he decided to swing anyway. So hoping not too many. But oh my God, TQM gonna try and find himself a pick, but he doesn't. He just gets taken down. Here we go, a 2 versus 4 with 1 minute 30 on the clock. What can they do here?
Well, get punished by the looks of things, as the Ace is going to be able to find one from the roof, and Mirror's going to be trying to get a bit aggressive. Instead, falls off, back to the Mirror, doesn't want to get herself caught in any capacity whatsoever, but Ace is, speaking of getting caught, walking into one of these Fenrir mines. One more C4 still available, and it is in pocket of Warden.
Will he be able to throw that? Well, I don't know. We'll see. Oh my God, he's teasing it. And he's going to get a shotgun instead. Won't manage to land any shots. It is just a gunfire left and right here. He's going to turn his back, though. Yes, that's the down. An incredible pick. He just turned his back, and there it is. Uncert to finish off. And the Mirror just to take some shots from behind that Mirror.
Yeah, that's a little bit questionable from the side of Entropy, to be completely honest. You had the free Rafters control. The camera could have been gotten from the door. The Blackbeard didn't need to turn around and give himself any sort of leeway, or give any sort of leeway to the opposite side. He didn't need to turn for the camera. He knew there was going to be he knew there was going to be one in one of 2 positions, and that was either in workshop or behind that Mirror that watches Rafters. Because there's 2 ways you play that. You either play one in workshop and then favor the Azami leaving to then play the Mirror, or you play one on the Mirror and you favor the Azami falling back into workshop or site, depending on where the breach comes from. And because the Blackbeard took the ground and he saw the Azami was still out on the Rafters, the Azami then got dealt with. And then instead of, you know, preparing to see where he gets swung from, he turned to deal with the camera. And you made a huge mistake, because the guy just swung out of rotate on the Mirror window because he has perfect vision on you without actually having it to peek the workshop door. And then you die.
Yeah, I feel like they should have just, like, dealt with that Mirror first before they had done anything.
Yeah, you punch the Mirror, deal with the camera.
Blackbeard. Yeah, they should have gone first. I mean, even that, you can. I'm pretty sure you can shoot the camera from the door from which is parallel to the Mirror. So I don't see why they didn't just work together there and sort that out. But it's fine, as we do move in to the basement bomb site. But that does mean we're going to have a very expansive defensive area around the map here, all upstairs. Lots of Goyos everywhere.
That was a warehouse breach.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like this.
I guess.
Nobody.
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
Nobody does this
they can't
anymore.
Mav trick. Yeah, they can't do the Mav thing either.
Well, they've
and they can't.
Very obviously done a little bit of research to see what their sort of lineup is, and there is a book on side, yes, but the problem is this is a strategy that was first pioneered truly by G2, and it was a clubhouse game against BDS back when I think Pengu was on the team. And at the time, what they did was they left the CC wall soft in order to be able to shoot out any sort of utility, because they knew they weren't going to bring soft breach, and they didn't bring soft breach, and BDS got ruined for it. And that was exactly what they planned.
Just lets them be trapped there. They now can't peek from that black box. Like, it's a very aggressive strategy. Already going to see the Nomad go from that attacking phase.
I'm getting loud Windows
the defense are... Oh, yeah.
It's because my CJX betas installed, and it's like trying to tell me over and over again.
We will start to see the Maverick trying to like bait the wall there, but Zach will find TQM 5 versus 3, and hey, it looks to be very dominant here. LDL just finishing up, but it will be Afla to go and take out Mad. Shotgun
Indeed.
pulled at the top of rafters here, just trying to find something, but yeah, he just can't. But he doesn't need to. He's got a minute on the clock, and the man advantage once again.
Oh
Wait,
my
what?
god! Oh no!
What?
He jumped off the ledge and he got the pixel perfect vault down into the pit.
Oh, I missed that. I'm so glad you saw that. What the hell?
And instead of like trying to react to it and catching the ladder, he panicked and just dropped.
Okay.
You can save yourself from that drop by catching yourself on the ladder, but I think he just panicked.
Oh, okay.
But that's as you can see on the observer's screen right now, as he's showing us so kindly. That's the drop that he did. You can't normally drop from there. You have to drop onto the. So you know when you half drop off a ledge.
Yeah.
So in order to be able to vault down that pit, you have to do a vault that vaults you into the half drop, because the moment you hit it, because of the velocity you have, you just slip, and you take full fall
Oh my
damage.
god.
That's the only way you
gonna,
can do that. And he hit it perfectly.
That's going to be the best play and the most hardest play I've ever seen, but also one of the most funniest plays ever.
This mirror strap makes me want to cry.
I mean, it was better if they just stuck it the same, right?
Yeah.
And well, I actually, I guess they would adapt to it, and I guess they're trying to work on that. But at the same time, just don't change it.
Well, they're
Like,
aware.
it
They're aware that if they continue playing the Azami is just going to get ruined on rafters every time. So that's
Mhm.
fine. So they're drifting away from the Azami for these other sites and only really playing it where it's necessary. On the other side, however, I feel like they're not really putting enough pressure onto these power positions like rafters. They have someone there to immediately fall off, but realistically, like, they've just got two mirrors in the corner, and if they take the far side of rafters, you just lose all control of them.
Yeah. And I guess if they get their one-on-ones in nature side, it's going to be an easy push onto that mirror as well. Also, going to see a disconnect. Unfortunately, Entropy getting the worst of the worst right now, and that does leave them at a disadvantage with Utel. But we will see. It also might be a rehost, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. We'll see how it goes. 1 minute 50 on the clock, and we're just playing aggressive on this door. We'll find one with a shotgun. Rixie goes down. Very light-hearted swing. Can we find anything else here? One more in electrical, and that's another victim. Oh, he will be taken down, though. He's not aiming in. TQM will punish him, though. Luna off the board. 4 versus 3. C4 in hand. They have pings ready. Will it land is the question. A 3v3 as Afla takes down Uncert. And now they're looking to push the last player who's on nature. So they now just need to drone this and know that they've got control here.
Indeed, C4 goes out. There's a kill, and it's looking really good for the side of LDL right now. LDL are in control. They're losing a few bodies due to like overextensions, but realistically, they're managing to keep themselves in the game. Almost got peaked on the vertical pressure there. Was the mute just hanging around below, but they're all right.
And we do have 50 seconds on this clock here. 2 versus 3. Both hard breachers looking to try and find themselves a way in.
But, well, contention being taken by the ace, manages to find one for himself, and that's going to spell a little bit of disaster for this defensive side. Some vertical angles being opened with the shotgun, and Thermite a little bit more worried for his well-being, as that was a bit scarily close for his liking. Some shots through the floor, deal a bit of damage, but I'm sure he's unaware, as now this Legion is in such a perfect position to hide. Instead, takes some shots, whiffs it, isn't able to find what he's looking for, and we've just got a bit of a messy situation with 10 seconds remaining on the clock. The mutant supply dealing a lot of damage, manages to find one. It's now a 1v1, this Legion versus the Thermite with the Goomine in his foot.
The Thermite can't move fast enough to get himself into that position to secure the kill onto Legion, who is just spinning in a corner, and that's going to be the round over in favor of LDL.
Well, heading to round 4. 3-0. We've seen this happen before. The question is, will Entropy's player return? And can Entropy now try and get 2 more rounds in for the 4-2 round split, which is most likely what could happen? Or will they just get dominated for the rest of this Nighthaven Labs? I mean, I've seen Entropy get beaten by teams like Ghost Army and things like that on Nighthaven Labs. I just thought it would be closer since they are fairly good at playing Nighthaven. I believe they're also only using their tactical timeout, so to buy them more time for them to get in, right? So I think they've used the rehost. I'm not too sure, but yeah.
Yeah, I think with it being like 3-0, this entire Entropy, this entire tactical pause is just going to be based around sort of figuring out the mental of the players more than likely, because I think that with LDL having such dominant starts every time, it's really going to be like pushing Entropy to its limits on the mental front, and that's really where they're struggling.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and I think
There's
that's
pinging sounds now. You hear that?
no.
It was
Oh
like
wait,
a
yeah.
ping, ping, ping. I've never heard that before. I've never noticed that.
I like how you're very infatuated in the sounds.
I
All
am.
right. That's the end of the tactical timeout, but we are waiting to see if we can get the player in. Okay, we're going to move ourselves to the second floor anyway, if they keep that. What can Entropy do here to get rid of this really strong LDL attack? Like, do they need to change where they push from? Do they need to be more crucial? Do they need to be less scared to take a gunfight? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think on Entropy's side, you really, as a team, the only thing that really is going wrong at the moment is their ability to take space, and that's what these shields are for, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, they lost a player in that last round, and that player I'm pretty sure was their shield player, if I'm not stupid.
Right. Yeah.
But like, just the fact that they're not really bringing along more than just the one shield in a few of these rounds is kind of really stapling itself as a problem for me, because you could bring along this Blackbeard Monty duo, because Monty's oppressive with the extended shield, and Blackbeard is oppressive in general. So if you like combo them up, then you end up with this sort of like walking sentry gun of Blackbeard alongside this walking drone of Monty that can just be followed in by some sort of entry fragger. You could have your 2 hard breaches just behind them, and then they can set themselves up for pretty much whatever they need to actually achieve. But instead, we're seeing a lot of wasteful utility, like the Buck, like the what was the other operator they had? A Thermite, Ace, Buck. I'm losing my mind. It could have been Ash,
Yeah.
but either way, like the extra
Probably
operator
was.
was just borderline useless. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
My only question is, if they do decide to bring that extra shield, they have 2 shields. What happens if, what happens maybe if those 2 players who are trying to frag behind those shields do get taken off? Then we do have a bit, like, obviously, yes, they can gain more space and they should be kind of ahead to stop them lines of sight being activated, but there's always potential for LDL just to say nah and just manage to get those kills, and then it does become another stale round.
I understand your point, but one of your shields is he's got an AR. Like, he's not
True.
exactly defenseless. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Monty is the most oppressive shield when it comes to taking space. Blackbeard
Yeah.
is the most oppressive shield when it comes to fighting him.
So maybe that kind of way of thinking is more necessary for if you were to bring a Blitz Monty rather than, actually playing that Monty Blackbeard, which is a better combination.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. So as we move in, finally we've got all players back as well. Thank God there was no rehost at all. I'm sick of them today.
And now we've got no shields.
And no shields. Yeah. Okay. So that's the other side of the coin. What if they just, say, yeah, now
And
no
Noah's Army.
shields. Okay, yeah, yeah, even worse. They're just going to change the meta a little bit here in the game. That's interesting to see.
Yeah, they've all given up.
Maybe they had a gentleman's agreement. Yeah,
They-
no shields.
They've given up on the Azami on the defense. They've given up on the shields on the offense, and now they're just like both teams have pivoted their focus. It's like they on the defense, I think they've pivoted from okay, they're gonna come in with the shields on rafters to okay, let's try and dissociate ourselves from rafters and instead pay more attention to that generator side where we saw them get like a lot of oppression on towards a breach. So they're going to be paying more attention to generator and connector. They're going to be paying more attention to the workshop, which gives them a lot more leeway for being able to actually defend the site because rafters is useless to them. They don't care. And on the attacking side, you've got the argument of, well, they haven't brought the Azami. We don't need the shield. We don't need to take rafters anymore. And it's just a worrying situation because you're sacrificing one of your integral points of the push.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you don't need it.
We will see free frags come there and in favor of the entropy attack, actually, as we do just, talk about that as well. The buck from below, just about missing the headshot there from Zach. And the smokes will be deployed. The breach is open with 1 minute 30 on the clock. And we still have a C4 in hand, which can go flying out of that breach. But will the pressure from below be enough? And again, we're about to lose that mirror. C4 out. Doesn't get anyone. Won't connect with 1 minute 20 here. They do need to be cautious. Someone is below putting pressure on. He's sitting in a bad situation here, although the mirror is still intact. They've only got the bottom part, so he can't sit right behind it. But it will be Luna to take down TQM, but still below. Blacklist to take HCR off the board. A 2 versus 3.
I'm going to be completely honest. Thank God that mirror is dead because he was baiting his team, by the way. He was stood right next to a Goyo canister that realistically should have been popped ages ago. But now it hasn't been popped. They have got a different potential opportunity coming soon with the ace actually getting aggressive on the generator door. So that could spell a lot for them. They managed to get one mirror open, which actually allows them a sight line rather than some weird little crouch hole underneath the mirror. And these two defensive players are isolated on their own little islands. You've got one stuck on the doorway between the head holes, and you've got the other one stuck on rafters now as one Goyo canister gets popped out. The mirror is still not dealt with up until just recently, and the plant just going down now.
Yeah, and there it is. Athlete to finish up. Zach to go down. But I think the other, again, we spoke about the shields and stuff, and we're going to keep talking about this. Hopefully it doesn't get too boring. The other side is, how about we just forget about them? And that's what they've done. They've changed up the complete strategy, and they've gone back to, okay, what if Blackbeard was just banned? And they've gone to how they would normally play, essentially. Forget about rafters, forget about getting that control, all that stupid stuff. Let's just go back to something that we know we can attack. They do this normally anyway. They've played like this before. They can get those walls, they can remove the mirror, and I think they played that a lot better than all 3 of those rounds. And I think you can't consistently try and make something work that maybe you're not comfortable with or you keep losing on. So maybe going back to something that they understand and that they can play well, the classic Night Haven attacking composition, it seemed to work for them. And I think that's what they should stick to now.
I agree. I think playing away from the shields isn't necessarily like an awful strat. I'm not trying to say that much, but it's like when you have this sort of like very integral position that's very heavily contested by a certain operator and its main counter is bringing the Blackbeard, it's very good to do so. But the other strat, the other way of dealing with that is exactly what they brought along. I just adding to your point, instead, they just completely ignored the area of the map the Azami should have been. And now they've got the Azami on the defense. They're going to do it in full force. They're going to completely ignore this Azami's position. And instead, they're just going to do exactly what they did before. They're going to open both breaches. They're going to play angles. The Azami's going to be forced to peek. Because, well, forced to peek or forced to leave, depending on what the Azami chooses to do. Either way, she's forced to either get active or cry in a corner.
And I mean, realistically, if they did want to remove that Azami, they have the utility to do that.
Exactly. They don't need the shield. They don't want to play the shield. Therefore, they're choosing other operators to play around a different style of play. And the buck below is going to open it up, getting us the first kill.
Pulse playing deep in the basement, looking for that information. And that's the classic Pulse that we see in maps like Clubhouse, you know, or just playing deep the bottom floor, trying to find as much information as they can for
And he
those
didn't
people
find his
playing in
man.
that middle floor. Oh, yeah, true. Yeah. Oh, my God. That's a lot. Zach going to find Blacklist, and a 4v4 situation will ensue.
You had one job, Pulse, and now you've got to do it with a gun.
I mean, hey, he can always be in a situation where they don't know where he is, as it is a big map, although there are only 2 ways up, essentially.
I love the incrementally like increasing speed on Flores drones, because it slowly goes from this like really slow drone to just a borderline RCXD. Pulse manages to
Oh,
find his
yeah.
man in the end, but gets caught out by the second one as he didn't quite understand that, you know, there's a buddy system in this game. Another man loses his legs to a shotgun. Zach is going to be there to secure that kill with the shotgun that he put him down with. And now it's a 2v3.
Zach taking heavy gunfire from the external breach here. With 50 seconds left on the clock, plenty of time for the two attacking Entropy players to find their mark. Zach, they know where he is. They know where he's playing. He will have a shotgun, but it will be Afla to take HCRV off the board with 35 seconds on this clock. Can they take 2 one-on-one gunfights, or they could double up and take that one player down? That mute, they know where he is. The question is, what is stopping them? Oh, well, it's Unsert with a shotgun on Nature's side. They preempted that split play. And now it will be up to what's going on here. Hello? He's going to focus on the Warden first. Will Warden see it? Oh, he will.
He was looking at the wrong spot.
Did he just like forget about mute? Does no one call that?
I think he knew the mute was like moved into generator, but he didn't want to take the close range engagement and thought the Warden would be on the stairs. He thought he could force a 1v1 with the Warden. And I mean, he did force a 1v1, but he also forced a shotgun shell into his head. So
True.
it's
I was just baffled. Like, mute didn't swing it.
yeah.
Mute just hid. I don't know if they meant to it, if they knew that he pushed in or what, but I guess that works somehow. Well, LDL Valour going to take another round off Entropy.
But you see how even though they were managed to even though LDL managed to come away with a win, it's like you can see how the Azami was completely redundant, just based on the way they pushed.
Yeah.
And I like that there's the versatility there for the side of Entropy to be able to go, all right, shields aren't working, let's do something else.
I think they've definitely tried it that one time, and again, look now, we're going to see the Monty come onto the board. They've got hatches open as well, so they don't really need to bother about that. They're going to try and take top floor, push everyone off again, like before. Hopefully, these shield plays are a little bit better if they want to do that, so to get space, to get ground. We'll see how it goes. We have a Vigil on the board to deal with as well, so we're not really running anything like a Jackal or anything to counter that Vig. We can out-drone it if we need to, or should try to drone it out and find where it could be. It might not be a big main necessary issue here as well, because we do seem to be pushing in from the kitchen side of the map.
Yeah.
Backside take. Possibly.
Potentially, we do have the Monty on side, so he is going to be walking himself through that 90 corridor, trying to take a bit of position over through that direction. And, well, he doesn't realize the gunfire that he was seeing was coming from the opposite direction. It wasn't coming from the window. That's going to be his life gone. And Vigil taken off the board. The one player that they didn't have the utility to deal with, gone.
Didn't even need a drone. Hell yeah, real estate. Oh, but hello? Mozzie? Do you want to peek your head? Well, if he does, he's dying. Oh, he's dead. Rise. Just going to take Matt off the board. People.
Oh, it missed. It didn't miss. It missed.
C4 deployed. No.
You could have gotten 2 picks. You could have gotten 2 different players. And instead, you decided to go way too late.
Luna will find one, but it's Rise to take Unsert back. A triple kill in his hands. Woo.
Indeed he is. But how the bloody hell is Legion just vibing here? Never mind, he's not vibing there anymore. Rise is on for an ace as he's managed to find the quad this early. There's a player in the back lines getting his head taken off
in the meantime, is Rise going to get over aggressive? He is standing on this doorway. Monty going to be taking it forward just to give some pings, and he does know. Both players are aware. It's a triple for Luna as well, but he's not able to get past the wall of the Monty. And well, with the safe play from Ace, this round's basically over. He has to kill the Monty, which just isn't going to happen. And if
Ace ain't peeking.
and
that.
if he's not able to peek the Monty, or if he's not able to kill the Monty, and then kill the Ace, it's just over.
Oh, here we go. Monty looking to drop the
It's already
shield.
over. It's already
Yeah,
over. He
it's
didn't get on
done.
in time. They could have just left it.
He wants to kill. Come on. They want the kill, man. Okay. Hey, a good round utilizing that shield. Later into the round, it was more useful, but as well at the start, it did cause a little bit of a problem. The Vigil getting taken off the board. Unfortunate to him, he wasn't really looking in the right area. But yeah, he did get taken down early. He possibly could have bought a lot more time for his defensive side, but they did really do very well on the attack. Entropy to get a 4-2 split. In my books, that's not too bad since they were struggling. They probably could have lost the first half 5-1. And I think they've done well to get that 4-2. We've still got a lot more to play for. We know Entropy can pick up momentum into this second half of the game. So I wouldn't, count them out just yet. They have definitely got more to show us as now they're on that defense. LDL, Valour on the attack. What does Entropy have to show us? Stay tuned. We have a lot more.
Why are we at the same split on every map? I swear to God, if this goes 6-2 and then Entropy start coming back, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna cry, probably. Gamble my life savings. Put it on a roulette table. Bro, they've nearly they came back for an 8-6 in map 1. For anyone that's just tuning in, they came back from 6-2 to win 8-6 in map 1. Map 2, they go 4-2 on the half again on the losing side. They then go to 6-2, come back to 7-5. They lost 7-5, yes, but they came back. And now we're 4-2 on map 3. And realistically, the way it should go is LDL win these 2 rounds and then win a third. Or how it's probably going to go is LDL win these 2 rounds and then we see some crazy comeback all the way up to at least 7-5 from Entropy, which is really like eating away at my mental.
It's kind of anticlimactic when you see, the same player disconnect twice in the same round when it's meant to be the final map and it's meant to be a good map as well. It's looking good. It's just unfortunate. Now you're
oh my God, mad!
Swings in, gets 2. What the hell?
What the hell, indeed?
Monty just pushing into sight now. They're looking to execute. Apple are behind. Won't really matter. They've lost Rise. Good luck, mate. Good luck. We'll find one. Gets refragged. But I guess that happened.
Oh my God. That was an incredible play from Mad there.
I mean, they both swung out at the same time. He's managed to get one, and then he's just flicked on the other like, yeah, hi, mate.
Get off me, bozo.
Get off me. I mean, yeah, he was going to use the ace charge. He decided not to, and then he got one. And then there's just the headshot straight away. And then, hell yeah, the Monty's pushed in from nature side. Anyway, they've got control of that site. It's a good push from LDL. And they are utilizing that shield, like you said, but it's not the Blackbeard, it's the Monty.
Yeah.
And they're going to more of a classical route. And I think that has worked. It's pressure. It creates a lot of pressure because you never know what's going to swing around from the Monty. You never know if that Monty's just going to drop his shield and slap you in the face. And you need your team to kind of be there in a position that can help you out, especially if that Monty gets nice and close and personal. You're going to need some support. You can't really 1v1 that Monty in a situation like that. So yeah.
I think the thing to keep in mind as well is the fact that this is a third playstyle we're seeing out of Entropy in the 3 maps we've seen so far. Because something that we've talked about already is it was very shield heavy. It was very aggressive. They had that playstyle to sort of begin with. Second playstyle that sort of came into the mix was that sort of like, okay, let's just disregard rafters. And instead, we're going to play a bit more methodical, a bit more tactical, and then try and set ourselves up for a true execute, which has also worked for them. And now we're seeing the side of LDL play this sort of controlled chaos style that we see from people like G2, where you are playing into the rafters, but instead of like just feeding it, they're peeking the door when they know there's going to be players close to the rotate. They're having their Monty come in from the blue nature side. They're having the breaches still be opened in the meantime. There is a lot of levels to what they're doing, and it is so unbelievably coordinated chaos that you only really see from like truly sort of like top level teams.
Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
Well, sorry to just completely change the subject, but it seems that
What a time to
Entropy's
return.
player has failed to return. Uh-oh. So that's another round where Entropy essentially don't have a player. Again,
10
they're a man
seconds
down.
remaining.
Which
I don't know
potentially
what's gonna
leads us
happen
into a 6-2.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate. I think it has, without saying it's ruined their momentum, it's ruined the game a little bit. Unfortunately, them disconnects. It is what it is. It's still a big event. Things happen like this. Servers are bad, internet's bad. Sometimes it happens. But we're gonna have a look and see what LDL will pack in. And if Entropy can manage to get around out of this, that will be amazing. That'll be great for their mental in this situation. And especially after playing so many rounds on map 1 and 2, they really can't lose like this, surely.
I'm more talking about the fact that it's going to force us into that 6-2 situation for the 3rd time in a row.
I mean, yeah, it would just be a miracle if they can recover from this amount of rounds that they kind of like lost. At least before, it was kind of closer. It was kind of more of a, okay, we can change this. We can work on this. They had all their players. They knew what's happening. This time, it just feels a little bit more
Oh my
scattered.
god.
See, Zach's going to find one. The C4 misses. It's almost like this Monty is just their kryptonite.
They have no way of dealing with any of these like crazy angles that are being taken on the attacking side. They're just getting caught from crossfires. That is entirely how it's going. Now there's a little melee battle going on between the Warden and the Monty. The Monty's getting aggressive even though he doesn't have melee priority, and he knows he can get aggressive because he's got a teammate behind him. This is so hard to watch because we're just allowing the same push to work twice in a row.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen, especially there. They've got one less man of utility. Yes, I understand that they could adapt still. They still could deal with this Monty in some way, even if there's 4 of them. But now we move into match point 6-2. We have all of Entropy back. Will they show us something here? Will they take us all the way to that OT like they did in map 1? That is the question. That's what I want to see, and I hope they do. I really do.
So do I.
We're now at 6-2.
We have seen 3 6-2s in a row. One where Entropy managed to come all the way back to an 8-6 victory. One where Entropy almost came back, but ended 7-5.
Yeah.
Or no, the other way around, sorry.
10 seconds left before
Oh, yeah.
insertion.
Sorry.
That would have been a 2-0 if it was Entropy.
5 seconds.
But now we're seeing another 6-2 in favor of LDL, where
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb
it
and
just
defuse it.
kind of shouldn't be. I think both of the LDL defensive rounds should have been won by LDL. This could full well have been a 7-0 if LDL didn't sell those rounds.
I mean, they opted to use a clap. That could actually be a good solution, maybe. Like, counter shield with shield, counter people playing behind that shield, kind of push them off. Because
I think that's the exact mindset.
Drop the bomb.
Yeah, I mean, if it works, I think that could be a good counter.
Now they don't even need it.
Attackers have recovered.
They've
their
lost 2 for it, though. Is it going to be worth it?
have located a
They
bomb.
know that there's going to be a heavy flood in through this single wall. He saw quite how many players were outside of there, and you do have this clash ready. He wants them to pop the Goyo.
Attackers
C4
are
goes
glass.
out, but the glass
Attackers
with
need
the
to
cover
protect the
is so
diffuser.
perfect.
Position compromised.
I mean, that's what the smoke's there for. That's what the thermal vision is. They've managed to essentially rush in through that site, even without their shield still intact. They've got in. The clash pretty much can't do anything here. We'll have to pull a gun out soon and try and help Rise get some picks here. Rise looking to try and manipulate the kill. We'll get one. Can we find another? Utilizing that clash actually to push up close. Doesn't matter. Zach will get Rise. Now it's a 2 versus 1. It's a super shorty as well. Although Madder is going to take a lot of damage. Oh, runs out and gets the pick. But it will be finished up by Zach, as that will be it. LDL will take it home. I think, though, we did say 2-1 LDL. We both agreed on that?
Yeah. It's gone well for predictions.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much nailed it. We pretty much, nearly. We didn't give one for map 2. Map 1, we both agreed on overtime.
Yeah.
And we both said LDL would be a 2-1. So, hey, good for us. Unfortunately, not for Entropy, as they will miserably lose the last map. But LDL loved every second of that. That was insane. Great work.
Yeah, it was. It was a very, very good game from both teams. I can't lie.
All right.
I think it being so close is something to really take into account when considering the skill of these two teams, because it didn't actually become a one-sided affair until that final map, where we saw, well, LDL just kind of dominate. But on the other maps, as I say, it was very close. I brought up on Cafe that like every player had nearly 10 kills. Like there was at minimum like 6 players in the game that nearly had 10 kills. And it's like, well, at that point, it's really becoming like a fun game to watch, because there's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of sort of gunfight potential, and power positions are being heavily stuck by the defenders in order to be able to reach those kill counts.
So my question is then, is LDL's very aggressive play style important? Will it impact future games? Will it be something to be scared of going into the next set of rounds, into round 2? Into round 2 and 3.
Oh yeah. I think that level of dominance, especially like consistently, is something that like really needs to be considered by the teams that are coming up against LDL. And I think being able to keep up with that level of dominance is also really respectable from the opposite side. So I think every single team that is coming up against either of these rosters, whether it be Entropy or LDL, should be afraid of what they can actually bring to the table.
So let's just quickly look at the leaderboard, essentially here, the table. In the top half, the teams that have won both of their games would be LDL. We have Sync. We have, of course, I believe it is SFAM. And it will be as well Ghost Army. All at the top. And they will be playing against each other in that second stage. And also, we do have in the middle stage now, Entropy will be in the one win, one loss category here as well. Followed by as well going to be Nexus. Nexus is it? I don't know. Nexus. It's gone. I've lost it. Never mind. SFAM and VG. There you go. I found it. And then in that bottom stage, we are still waiting for, of course, the teams that have lost both in that bracket. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that middle section battles. I'm really interested to see it. Our next game will be our Spire versus Satchel Lilith. I can't even say it. Literally esports.
Satchelity.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. My lisp is taking me crazy. That'll be on the 17th of March. When is that? Okay, so next week. Yeah, not too bad. Next Monday, I believe. Is that right? I think so. But anyway, Nash.
Yes.
It's been an honor to cast with you.
It has been.
Had so much fun.
But just
We
like
had
many
such a
others.
good picture.
Just like many others, I've got CJX to play. So
Oh, everyone's got those drops on.
Yeah.
In the background.
It was like the first thing I went for. I got it just before we started, so I was installing it while we were casting, and that's why I had the funny Windows noises. Thank you everyone for enjoying, watching, sticking around. I've been Naj, as you know, and I've been joined by TD.
Woo.
this side.
Thanks, guys.
If you want to check us out on other platforms, I'm gonna plug myself because ESA allows me to. I'm just Naj on Twitch. I'm just Naj on YouTube. I make little informational YouTube videos where I talk about leagues and events that are upcoming or ongoing. So let's keep it up. I'm trying to get 6 out this year. I've only done 1, so I'm off to a good start.
Hey, yeah, that'd be cool. I'll definitely check them out. But also, if you do want to just give me a follow for the sake of giving me a follow on Twitter, it's TD_esports. Hopefully, I'll be here for a few more games this season as well, as haven't been here for a while. My bad.